Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, and keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good evening, fans in North Bay, as we welcome you to the Lift Lock City here in Peterborough for the first time, as the Frontline Game Day broadcast is here for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals here from Peterborough, as the North Bay Battalion and Petes are all tied up at 1 apiece. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined on the road by Ben Long, who will be with me over our little extended stay here in Peterborough. But for now, why don't we go through our pregame show?
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
And before I formally bring Ben into the broadcast, we'll just jump right into it now with our Players to Watch.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
And Ben, we'll talk about our Pete's hometown player to watch first. Number 10 in your programs, J.R. Avon.
Yeah, he's been a great player for the Petes out there. He's got lots of speed on him. He's just great with the puck. He's sitting at 8 points overall this playoffs in, 12 games? I think there are 12 games that he's got under his belt so far this season with 8 points. That's a pretty good clip to be getting points at, and we'll see what he does here tonight.
J.R. Avon is pointless in this series. He's one of many Petes actually pointless in the series, as only 6 Petes have been on the score sheet so far when it comes to points. Now, they've been multiple points for them, of course, with Hoffman, Lockhart, Beck, McCoy, and Stillman all getting 2 or 3 points. Yep. For the Battalion, almost the whole roster's on the score sheet point-wise, but they're all only at 1 point apiece through the 3 games. And speaking of the Battalion, we'll talk about number 27, Pasquale Zito, a player that we've really taken notice of here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he's one of those players where on another team he might be expected to be the star standout player or be a huge cog in it, but on such a deep North Bay team, as you mentioned, so many players have points that up to this point that he doesn't have to be that guy, that he doesn't get the focus of the main shutdown necessarily from the other team, and he's just out there and he's producing really well this postseason. But more notably than that is his physical play is really bringing an edge to the North Bay's game that they may not have without him in the roster.
Pasquale Zito with 15 points through 15 games. You could arguably say 16 because of a shot off his head that went in the back of the Battalion net against Barrie. He has 1 goal in the series as well, and he looked phenomenal in games 1 and 2 of the series in North Bay, which we might as well reflect on here real quick before we get ready for Puck Drop as one of the best opening songs in the history. The Streets Have No Name YouTube player here at the Peterborough Memorial Center. I love it when hockey teams do this. I'm not a big U2 fan. The song hits all the right notes. But we'll look back on those first 2 games. The Battalion found themselves down 3-0 before the opening 20 of the series was in the books, but they were able to bring it back to a 3-2 game, ultimately losing that game. And then the next game, scoring first. So the team that scores first so far in this series has won both games, unlike the Barrie series. And they scored first. Othman ties it back up. Liam Arnsby, talk about leadership, scoring the game-winning goal late in the third period, and then Nolan Van Steensel getting an empty netter in that game for the Battalion to win that game and tie the series at 1, coming to Peterborough.
Yeah, I mean, if you look strictly at the score sheet, it looks pretty even. But if you look at the play during the play, North Bay really has handled a handle on a lot of this. Peterborough absolutely manhandled them in that first period of that first game. But after that, it's been mostly North Bay. And I think, you know, being from North Bay, we want to see that trend continue, right? I
would have to say so, although so far it's been the opposite of Barrie. It's been very hospitable here in Peterborough in the short time that we've been here with the fans. But sorry, Peterborough fans, we want to see a North Bay win here at the Peterborough Memorial Center. We're in a building just as old as North Bay Memorial Gardens. They were both built in the mid-50s, and I have to say this is quite the rink to take it in. Both coaches spoke highly of the buildings, spoke highly of the communities coming into the series. This is what junior hockey is all about: smaller communities, smaller rinks. And so far, in the short time that we've been in this rink, Ben, I'd say this place has delivered.
Yeah, I mean, first thing we walked in here, and I hadn't even opened up my bag of equipment, and we were already having a conversation with the gentleman sitting in front of us, and there was one with the Leafs jersey, one with the Habs jersey, and, you know, I think that's a perfect example of our broadcast at its finest right there.
Yeah, you're unfortunately a bit of a Habs fan. Myself a Leafs fan, of course, celebrating the Leafs victory. They are playing Game 1 tonight against Florida, so if you're with us here instead of watching the Leafs game, we thank you so much as we try to give you the best content we can here for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. For those wishing to sync us up on TV, when the game has started, I will let you know by saying the puck has dropped, as I've been told we're a few seconds before the TV broadcast.
Yeah, my understanding is 5 to 10 seconds is the difference there. That latency is a tricky bugger to get a hold of.
Very tricky for sure. Of course, you know, it's not always the easiest, but I'm sure some people would like to hear from North Bay would like to hear some Homer fans instead of, you know, maybe the away team broadcast. So,
and the other side of that is, speaking of tricky buggers, North Bay has a whole roster full of them. When you're looking at their technically what's listed as the fourth line, you have a 30-goal scorer, or up to the last game we had a 30-goal scorer, and Romani, who every time he's touched the puck, you were saying on the drive down that every time he touches the puck, you just feel like something could be happening.
Yeah, Anthony Romani has been fantastic. He scored the first goal in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Battalion to cut into that 3-0 deficit. And then, he seems to be picking up goals when needed, scoring that double OT winner in Game 4 against Barrie.
Yep.
And again, every time he's on the ice, he looks to be engaged. A bit of a lineup note, though. We don't have the lineups at our disposal like we do in North Bay. Nikita Tarasevich out of the lineup.
Yeah, and that's a big loss that North Bay's going to note. He plays with a lot of energy. He plays a lot of big minutes, especially on the penalty kill, and he's fantastic at that role. So we're going to have to see some other guys step up. A lot of times we're seeing Bloom and Zito on the penalty kill as well as McDonald, and we'll see if they can step up. And, you know, of course, Arnsby's in there too.
Yeah, Nikita Tarasevich was speed to burn on the penalty kill, scoring a lot of shorthanded goals for the troops this year in the regular season. And, you know, somebody that you definitely want to see out there for sure. But as of right now, will not be playing. We'll have to see who's taking his spot in the lineup. My guess is Ethan Procession.
I would have to guess the same thing. As much as I love seeing Tarian play and would love to see his energy out there, I can't see them leaving Procession not dressed if there's a spot open for him. This.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the difference between last year's team and this year. And Ryan Houlihan said it to me post-game that they're so far past what last year's team is, they don't want to look back. And case in point, your first-round pick has been a scratch since Tanias Mathurin came back from injury in the second round. Last year, the Battalion were playing predominantly rookies all the way to the Eastern Conference Final. Of course, part of that was because of the COVID no season.
Yeah.
You know, he classified Nelson and Wakely and those guys as rookies, including DiVincentis, who was getting the bulk of the starts towards the end of that playoff run. But this year's team, a lot more veterans, and as we've seen, no rookies in the lineup right now until likely tonight for Ryan Olahan since the second round.
Yeah, and that's got to be a big night for him as well, to step into the Eastern Conference Finals in Game 3 where the series is already tied up. There's a lot on the line here tonight. I think what happens here tonight, since we left North Bay tied, what happens tonight might be what sets the tone for the rest of the series.
Yeah, how many times have we seen a big Game 3 set the tone for the rest of the series? We saw it with the Leafs. You know, they were going into Tampa tied at 1. You know, and the Leafs come out with a big victory in Tampa to, you know, basically propel them through the rest of that series. Same with the Battalion. Unfortunately, they lost that game in Barrie. It was Game 4 that helped them out big time in that one. But Game 3 is often viewed as a swing game when it comes to momentum in a series. And Peterborough coming in has to feel pretty good. Coming in, playing in front of their hometown team, or fans, the last time they played here was to clinch against Ottawa in Game 6.
Yep.
Oh, nice little fireworks display here as well for the players as they come out.
Yeah.
But you got to feel real good being here in front of your hometown fans. On the flip side for the Battalion, you got to feel real good coming in off a victory in Game 2.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. They're going to build that momentum. You hear the people talk about it all the time during playoffs, and it may be that it's, you know, a bit of a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. But yeah, that momentum is what they're going to be trying building off, where Peterborough's going to try and build off. All right, we had 2 games in a tough barn in North Bay, and we came out tied. So now that we're back in our home barn, let's take advantage of it. So I think this first period, we're really going to see a lot of which team really feels like they have something they need to prove here tonight.
Another lineup note as well that's different from Game 2. Avery Hayes back in the lineup as well for the Peterborough Petes. You had to think he wasn't going to sit out too long either, as the they put a lot of emphasis on getting those Hamilton guys who won a championship last year with the Bulldogs, you know, coming into Peterborough here off the trade deadline, and Gavin White and Avery Hayes.
Yeah, they're important guys that you want to keep them in anytime they're possibly able.
And we're going to get ready for the national anthem here, and we'll be back with the puck drop on the other side of this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center as we get set for puck drop here in game number 3 of this Eastern Conference Finals between the North Bay Battalion and the Peterborough Petes. The series is deadlocked at 1 apiece. In one net, you have Michael Simpson, arguably the 1B to Dom DiVincentis' 1A, and if that couldn't become any more official, the OHL acknowledged that as Dom DiVincentis was named the Jim Rutherford Goaltender of the Year, and which we'll talk about more as the game gets ready to go. We're just getting set up here for puck drop. The Petes in their home maroons are going left to right on our broadcast, and the Battalion in their road whites are going right to left. It looks like Liam Arnsby against Tucker Robertson for the opening draw as well. As we just wait here for the okay to get things going here in Peterborough between these two teams. And the puck is dropped here from Peterborough as it's back to Cam Govro, who dumps the puck into the Battalion zone. Paul Christopoulos back to play it, gets taken hard into the boards. The square corners here in Peterborough as Zanetti battles with Wakely on the far side. Mathurin, puck is out front. Robertson tried to make a centering pass as the Battalion just throw the puck down the ice, and that'll go for icing here as the puck is down into the Pete zone and Govro will retrieve it.
Yeah, those corners just look really weird. Seeing that puck out there move around the end boards just that first time tonight, that's going to throw me off, I think, for the first couple times here.
It might a little bit. The square corners here in Peterborough, we've heard legends of it from Papa Mike Dallin Wakely's grandfather, of course, as the puck is going to be dropped to the broadcast side of DiVincentis, or his glove side as well, as the Battalion get possession of it. Christopoulos flipping it up and out to Van Steensel, who got the empty net goal in game number 3. And now it's Christopoulos with the puck in his own zone. Christopoulos skates the puck up, gains the red line, dumps it in, and it rims around the end wall. Zito chasing after it, but it'll come back to the Petes first, as that's Maye who gets to it. Maye up the ice to Beck. Beck, who has 3 points so far in the series. Cross ice to Stillman. Stillman tries to cycle it behind his net. He does get it behind the Battalion net, and Ty Nelson picks up the puck, tries to get it out of his zone. Back to Zito. Zito looking to go behind the net. He does to Lucan. Lucan up for Petrov. Petrov clears it up the ice quickly to McDonald. Kyle McDonald walking in, takes the shot, and that one whistled wide of Simpson's net. Zito now in the corner. Tried to get it, muscled it back. Now it's McDonald in the face-off dot, and his shot hits a body, and that's going to stun somebody. It looks like Beck, who's slow to get up. Lucan with the shot from the point. And now it's Avon who gets the puck but overskates it, nearly gave it away in his own zone, but he does get out of his zone. Now he's bowled over by McDonald, who muscles the puck into the Battalion zone for Lucan to chase after, brings it near side to Nelson. Nelson up the ice quickly. That's Jackson with it. Jackson now sends it back into his own zone. Nelson goes rink wide for Lucan. Lucan tried to get to Bloom, and the puck is sent in. No icing on that one as Ertel comes in after it. Jackson's going to get to it. He's taken down to the ice. And now the Petes break out with Perdeller. Perdeller sends the puck in deep. Now to the near side. Battling for it. Comes out front. Robertson stops it from getting too far out. He skates it in. Goes to the front of the net. Takes the shot. DiVincentis stopped that one. And we'll get a stoppage. Here's the puck is out of play. Lots of back and forth here early as we're just over 2 minutes in.
Yeah, not much sustained pressure yet in either direction. Both teams have had the puck either way and had some chances. North Bay hasn't managed a shot on goal yet, but they've had a few towards the net that have hit people. Notably, as you mentioned, Beck got hit. And Peterborough has one shot on net at this point. Oh, no, I have that backwards. North Bay has one, Peterborough has none on net yet.
Puck up the ice looking for Bloom. That's going to miss him. Simpson out to play the puck, sends it back out to the neutral zone. Also a neat thing about this arena is the benches, like Memorial Gardens used to be, on opposite sides, like the Sudbury Arena currently still is. Zanetti behind his net flipped the puck up, and it's down the ice. That'll go for icing, as Mathurin will be the first one back on that one.
Yeah, the nice thing about the benches being the way they are in this rink, especially if you look at the away bench that's directly across from us, the red line sits right in the middle. So although you don't have a close change like you do in most standard modern arenas, you don't have a long change the same way you do in most modern arenas.
Yeah, a bit of a different look for sure, as it is Ethan Procession in for the draw. As he's battling in the corner, he gets it to Petrov, who sends the puck in from a sharp angle. Up the ice now, Lockhart flips it back to Nelson. Nelson with a backhand shot. Back to Lucan now at the point. Lucan takes the shot, and that one was tipped just over the net. From our angle here, it looked like it hit the top corner of the net, I thought that's where it went at first, but then you saw the netting behind the net actually move.
Yeah, and just on a lines note, because we mentioned before the game, with Tarasevic being out, Procession is in the lineup tonight. He's playing with Romani on that fourth line, we'll say in air quotes, and Wakely is bumped up into the spot with Van Steensel and Arnsby.
Also, where our broadcast booth is, we're almost at the face-off dot in the offensive zone for the Battalion. So anything in the Pete's zone is going to be great to see.
Yeah.
As Procession wins it back to Petrov, but it didn't get to him as Maye sends it back around behind the net. Mully, with the puck, gets it up to Govro. Govro to the near side. That's Maye carrying the puck in. Maye in the front of the net is kicked out by Divinchentis, and it was nearly bumped in by the Petes who were crashing the net. Pete's now with the puck, flip it back behind the net. Out front, that's Hayes trying to find his man, Page. Now back out to Hayes. Hayes battling for it with Petrov, but it's flipped out of the zone. Govro gets to it first. Govro down into the Battalion zone as the teams go for some quick changes. Weird bounce out front. And now that puck is out front to Dubois. Dubois into the corner. As now the Pete Stillman takes a hit. Puck around in the near side corner. Back to the point. White takes a shot. That one missed wide as he was looking for the rebound off the end board. And it gets it to Avon. Avon cycled the puck back into the corner, but Arnsby picked it up. Now Arnsby up the ice to Romani. Romani's been out there for a while. Now Arnsby gains the red line and flips it in. Back behind his net is Simpson. Simpson to White. White looking up ice, given away to Van Steensel. Van Steensel with the shot. He picked his corner and just missed it wide. Now back in his own zone. Goes for a little bit of a skate. Skates it up. Gains the blue line. Takes a shot. That hit a body and went wide. Puck with a weird bounce there, as we also see Kennedy making his first go around here in the Eastern Conference Finals as well. Up to Hislop. Hislop. His pass up ice, missing its target. Now Othman gains the zone to Robertson. Robertson walking in, takes the shot. He missed the net, and the puck goes around behind the net. Once again, back out front. Good poke there by Petrov. Kept the puck from going cross ice, and now it's out front, and what a save by Divinchentis there as the puck poked out. And the Petes had a good look there. Zito now gains the zone. Takes a shot. Simpson with a glove. Stops that one. And we'll get a stoppage here with just under 5 minutes gone in period number 1.
So on another lines note, who is out that Kennedy is in? I'm not seeing who's missing here.
I haven't seen Winslow yet.
Oh, okay. We have Christopoulos and Mathurin out there now. Nelson and Lukin were out together.
I haven't seen Winslow yet.
Okay.
Spearing behind his net. Gets it to Mali. Mali at his own blue line, flips it back into his own zone. That's back to Spearing. Spearing up the ice, nearly gave it away to Petrov, but it's into the Battalion zone. At the side of the net, that was Mali trying to flip it out. Now a quick chance by Perdeller. And now Christopoulos battling for it. Puck in the corner. Christopoulos knocked it away, but it still comes loose to the Petes. Now Zito on the near side. Sends it right back behind his net. McDonald with a good stick pokes it away to Zito. Zito takes a chance behind his net. Leaves it there for Christopoulos. Christopoulos looking up ice. Decides to flip back around. And he gives it to Petrov. Petrov going through for a skate through the middle of the ice. He just went offside as McDonald was ahead just by a hair. So we'll get a stoppage here again. 14:23 remains in this first period.
Aside from that offside right there, I think that last shift really showed a lot of what the Battalion do really well, in that they show good pressure on their own end, pick up the puck, and control it and get it down the ice without giving it away. Now, had they not had offside, they would have been in the zone with control with a couple guys with them.
That was one thing the Battalion did great in the second game of the series, as we'll get a stoppage here. Looks like another offside call, which I don't think it could be because the Petes carried it in, so don't listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're calling that there, but North Bay's run into some offside issues before that weren't really offside, so maybe it is what it is.
Game 7. Back to Nelson. Nelson goes back into his own zone. Sends it up ice for Jackson. Jackson in his own zone with Beck, giving him pressure. He skates right through Beck. Now it's Jackson up to Ertel, center of the ice to Bloom, back to Ertel. Ertel with a shot, Simpson with a glove save on that one. And programming note for those of you at home who are enjoying our broadcast, we will be back at it again here tomorrow from Peterborough for Game 4. So there's no day in between. It's back-to-back, which is a little weird to see in a playoff game or series.
Especially this early in the playoff series. But you know what? Being guys with full-time day jobs outside of this, having not a day off in between works out well for us, I think.
Yeah, it's nice to have a day off of that job, but we'll be here in Peterborough traveling around, taking in the sights, as this is both our first time here. Yep. As the puck's back to Nelson. Nelson takes a shot. That's blocked by Lockhart. Lockhart gets it back to the point. Lucan sends it right back in, just over the net of Simpson. Now it's Zanetti behind his net to Othman. Othman battling with Bloom, comes away to Jackson. Jackson couldn't get the puck away, and now Lockhart tried to get it past Nelson. Jackson regains the zone. Jackson on the near side wall, looks out front for Ertel, who was hauled to the ice by Govro. As now, that was a good chance for the Battalion if they were able to get a shot away. Lockhart flipping it into the Battalion zone. He's in a foot race with Nelson. Nelson up the near side to Bloom. Bloom flips it out of his zone, looking up ice for Ertel, but White got to that one first, and the Petes are able to send it back into the Battalion zone. Othman leaving it, and that was a shot there, coming off the stick of Malee. Now Bloom, cross ice to Ertel, who his chance into the zone was blocked, and he goes off for a change as Kyle Jackson manages to keep the puck deep in the zone. Romani tried to bring it back in, but White was able to steal that puck away, and now he has it in his own zone, flipping it up ice. Dubois flips it in for Malee. Malee lost it to Romani as his centering pass went to nobody. Now Zito with it, flips it in. Now Zito with a chance, that's Procession, who's not looking like he's missed a beat here since he hasn't played since Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. I'm getting confused now. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. It's been a long drive.
It has been. But you know what? Looks like he hasn't missed a beat. And I mean, with players at this level, you kind of expect that. With the way he's been looking at the end of the year, he's right on top of things, though. So that's good to see him still in that form.
Procession in for the draw against Beck. Beck wins it to Avon. Avon knocks the stick of Zito out, and then he skates away with knocking his stick away, so Zito had to go and pick it up, but the Petes keep the puck in the Battalion zone. It's to Zanetti on the far side. Christopoulos tried to get it to Procession. He had his pocket picked, and now it's behind the net again with a centering chance, just missed the net by Stillman as he tried to send the puck out into the netting of DiVincentis. Romani with the puck in his own zone goes cross ice to Mathurin. Mathurin just took a high hit there, but he's able to stay on his feet. And now Stillman chasing after it with Christopoulos. Christopoulos throws it around the end wall to Arnsby. Arnsby, who got the game winner in Game 2, throws it up ice to Zito. Zito side checks a hit. Then he takes one at center ice from Beck as he goes off for a change. Othman now center ice. Another chance. Big save by DiVincentis. As now the puck's thrown out front. DiVincentis showing himself all kinds of sharp here early, covering up the puck as he stopped the best looking chance there by the Petes so far.
Yeah, both these goalies have looked sharped out here so far. Dom's had a couple of really good chances on him, like those ones there where they're getting passes across and connecting, and he's just making sure that he gets across and blocks it.
The scoreboard says Pete's goal. It's not a Pete's goal. It was saved by DiVincentis. I can understand thinking it might have been because that was a good chance for the Petes, though.
It did change to Pete's go after.
Yeah. Back to the point there. White takes a shot. That one's tipped wide of the net. And now, back behind the net once again is Othman. Othman out front. Another chance. Stopped by DiVincentis. And Wakely's going to clear the front of the net. Gets it to Lucan. Battalion trying to weather a bit of a storm here. Gets it up ice now to Arnsby. Arnsby gains the zone. Goes back to the point for Nelson. Back in for Arnsby. Arnsby looks to center it. Wakely picks it up. Wakely from Port Hope nearby. Gets it out front to Van Steensel, who puts it on net. Stopped by Simpson. Arnsby back to Nelson. Goes cross ice for Lucan. Lucan to Arnsby. Arnsby with a quick chance. Couldn't get that shot away. Now Wakely from the upper slot. Another chance. Knocked out front of the net, and the Battalion can't bounce that one in. Now back into the slot, and that was cleared out by the Petes as the Battalion respond with one of their best looking chances. Quickly up ice now to Zito. Zito carries it in, takes a shot. That one's blocked, and now he tries to muscle his way to the front of the net. and he nearly got a second chance away, but the puck is up to Beck. Beck, cross ice to Hayes. Hayes brings it into the battalion zone, takes a shot, blocked aside by DiVincentis. Now behind the net, Zito to Hislop. Hislop up ice to Petrov. Quickly back to Hislop as the battalion try to create some separation. Now it's back to Petrov. Petrov has looked dangerous through the first 2 games of the series. Walks into McDonald. McDonald cross ice to Zito. His shot hit a stick, so it wasn't as strong going on net. Now McDonald has it in the corner, battling with Spearing. Knocking down his man, and it's back to the point for Brostowski. Brostowski in deep again for Zito. Zito taken to the ice, and now McDonald knocks his man to the ice. Puck out front for the Petes as they collect it, and Perdeller goes down into the battalion zone, flipping it in, and that one's going to go well over the net, and we'll get a stoppage here, and that'll bring us to our mid-period timeout on the front line, and we'll see you on the other side of this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside the lively Peterborough Memorial Center here. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long as we get set for the remaining 9 minutes and 50 seconds here of this opening period of Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. The series is tied at 1. This game is knotted at 0 so far, Ben.
Yeah, and you got to think both teams are happy with what their guys are doing out there. We're not seeing a whole lot of mistakes, and we're not seeing domination from either side. If you're a fan of just good old-fashioned hockey, chances at both ends of the ice, this is a game that you want to be participating in here. If you're cheering for either specific team, I think you maybe want a little more pressure the other way, but this game's been a great one. The series line looked like it was going to be right from the start.
As we get ready for a puck drop on the broadcast side of DiVincentis' net. Jackson in for the battalion for the draw. And it's one back to Malie. Malie with a shot. That one's blocked by Hertel. Christopoulos takes his man hard into the boards. That's Malie. Malie's down. He's not getting up. And now the puck is on the ice, and they finally call it. Doesn't look like any penalties coming to the battalion, though.
Oh, Goldberg's finding his way over to Christopoulos.
Yeah, former teammates there. As Malie is still down on the ice. He hasn't gotten up as the trainer from the Pizza's down there just to make sure that everything's okay and check on Malie, who's slowly getting up.
Yeah, in the moment he went down weird. His foot first into the boards, and you never know, like you could get knee, hip, ankle, all sorts of weird things can happen coming out of a situation like that, a groin injury, and it's just an awkward way to fall in that you don't want to see guys do, and it was a clean hit, but it just was an awkward fall into the boards.
That's the second time in as many series we've seen Christopoulos level a clean hit. As Malie finally gets up, he's not under his own power, though. He has an arm draped around the trainer for the Petes, and now Perdeller's coming out to help as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on if Malie comes back at all in this game as he drops his stick to the ice as well. The linesman coming in to pick it up. But this is the second straight series that we've seen Christopoulos level a clean hit, like the Evan Bierling one, and knock the player out.
I gotta imagine he's not back today just by the way he's looking there, the way his leg's hanging. I would be surprised to see him back in tomorrow, and that's going to be, that's a shot for the Petes because he's been out there flying for them every shift he's out there. He's high speed and getting chances at the other end.
Well, Malie is one of the 6 Petes with a point in the series. He has a goal in the 2 games played so far. And he is a talented hockey player indeed. Puck as we get back underway. One back to Govro. Govro throws it in to the battalion zone. Weird bounce stopped it from going around the net. And Christopoulos tries to knock it up to Bloom. Now back to the point. Govro with it. Govro throwing it on net. That one's just tipped wide. Zanetti pinching in. Keeps it in, but Mathurin got to it first. Mathurin battling in that square corner on the far side. Gets it up to Jackson. Jackson leaves it for Hertel. Hertel walking in. Takes the shot. And that one just missed the net. Now Jackson with a sharp angle chance. Nearly took off the head of Josh Bloom. Was able to duck for cover and put the puck back in the corner. Now Beck coming away with the puck. Gets it to Zanetti. Zanetti up to Stillman. Stillman gains the battalion zone. Throws it on DiVincentis. And he's just going to cover it up and allow his team to reset a little bit here in the defensive zone.
Yeah, and one thing that I've seen North Bay doing really well this series particularly, that they weren't quite as strong at in the Barrie series, was that they have that third man high always coming back into play, so they're not ending up with as many odd man rushes going against them. And that with the team as sharp as the Pete's, you got to make sure you're cutting that out.
The Pete's very sharp so far is Othman with a shot off the draw, but it was whistled dead just seconds before that, based on the linesman deeming it unfair. So we'll get another chance here in the offensive zone for Peterborough, and the Battalion with a defensive zone draw. One back by the Battalion, but it's going to be the Pete's with the first possession on the near side wall. Flipped around the end wall, and now coming in is Spearing, keeping the puck in. Spearing from beside the net flips it out. It's going to go to Zito, and Zito's going to get up to Petrov, who sends it up ice quickly, and McDonald was sneaking up ice and had a good chance there. Now Lucan keeps the puck in, skates in deep to the Pete zone, stops up, looking for some support as he's taken into the boards. Tried to flip it behind the net, but the Pete's are able to keep the puck and knock it out. Now Nelson picking up the loose puck, looks up ice, tried to get to McDonald. That missed him, and now we'll get a nice and call here against the Troops. And another offensive zone draw for the Pete's with 8:21 left in this first period.
Yeah, and McDonald tried to get a touch on it at the last second there at the blue line on the way down for the icing, but as the puck was airborne, he just was kind of making almost a bunt-type motion towards it, hoping to hit it, and didn't quite make contact, and we end up now back in the Battalion end.
Once again to the broadcast side of Divincentis' net. That's Dubois coming in for the draw for the Pete's. Zito for the Battalion. And we're back underway here as the puck is knocked back to Nelson. Nelson goes behind his net to McDonald. McDonald flips it up and out of the zone looking for Petrov. Petrov leaving it for Nelson. Nelson tries to skate in, but it's left for Zito. Zito tried to muscle it in front of the net pass to Petrov, but it's picked up by the Pete's. Now Perdeller left it for Hayes. Hayes shot, kicked off net by Divincentis and into the netting and out of play.
One thing that I really like about this defensive pairing that we're seeing out there of Nelson and Lucan is that they both have the ability to move the puck up the ice very well, but they're both well aware of what needs to happen at the defensive end as well. So they're not leaving each other stranded, but they're also not afraid to pinch to make plays happen.
Procession wins the draw back to Hislop. Hislop looking up ice, gets it to Procession, and now Jackson sends it to the middle of the ice for Bruskowski. Bruskowski left it for Procession. That's going to be an offside call against the Battalion on a bang-bang play there.
Yeah, we're pretty close to the blue line here, and I didn't see who was offside, but the linesmen are in a better position to see such things, so we'll have to take their word for it.
Dubois and Procession in for the face-off. And it's won by the Pete's, but Jackson gets to it first. Jackson carries the puck cross ice, gets it back to Bruskowski with a shot. Simpson with a save, scramble in the slot, back to Bruskowski at the point. Near side for Hislop. Hislop threw the puck cross ice, looking to hit a body maybe in front, and now the Pete's have possession again. White quickly up ice to Perdeller. Perdeller out of his zone, gains the red line, flips it into the Battalion zone. Hislop's going to have to chase after it. Hislop quickly back up ice, and now that's coming in for Romani. Romani hauled down, and that's going to be stopped there by Simpson, and another stoppage here.
Yeah, and that again, air quotes, fourth line on the Battalion. I just love the skill they have, and as a result of having two skilled players playing there, they can throw someone from the top lines on with that, and they don't look out of place, right? A lot of times that fourth line is a little bit weaker, so you throw a stronger guy on there. Well, he's skating by himself. He has people to skate with in this situation.
Puck one back of the Battalion. Wakely sends it down the ice. Nelson will have to chase after it, and he does get to it first with Avon hot on his trail. Nelson slowing things down. Takes the puck out of from behind his net, gets it up to Christopoulos, and Van Steensel sends it in deep for Wakely to chase after. Near side wall now. Up for Beck. Beck has the puck in his own zone, goes cross ice for White. White carries it into the Battalion zone. He had a drop pass for Avon, and it missed him. Now Christopoulos chasing after it was Stillman. Stillman, his pass nearly was picked off by the Battalion, but it's back to Zanetti. Back in front, tipped on net, cleared from in front of the net by the Battalion, as Divincentis kept that one out. Now we'll have a penalty here coming to the Battalion, as a shot comes in from the far side, and Well, we know how I feel about refereeing sometimes, but we're going to have a penalty here against the Troops.
There's a guy, Beck is coming back to the Pete's bench in obvious pain.
So it must be a high stick.
I didn't say it was a high stick or a high hit, but it was, something got him rattled. And we'll see what the call is.
It had to be something that was very obvious because Romani was taken down and nothing happened there.
It was a head contact is what the ref made the gesture for there, so that makes sense that they're going to call something like that. That Romani thing I would have liked to see a penalty on as well. The Pete's were looking real dangerous out there right now in that last shift leading up to that penalty, though, so hopefully the Battalion could get their typical power play or penalty kill.
Arnsby's in the box for 2 minutes. It's back to the point and slapped on net by the Battalion. Now Ertel is going to carry it out. Ertel flips it in, and now time to tell you about the Pete's power play, which isn't great. They're 5 for 47 in the playoffs, clipping in at 10.6%. That's 14th out of 16 teams that have played a game in the playoffs. And now it's up ice to Lockhart. Lockhart sends it in deep, and that one's to Robertson. Robertson behind out to White. White goes cross ice to Robertson. Now it's in tight for the Pete's. Othman takes a shot. DiVincentis is behind him. Looks like Brennan Othman with the first goal here for Peterborough on the power play. A power play that's clipping at 10.6%.
Yeah, and I mean, those numbers are far less than stellar, but when you have players like the Pete's have on their roster, you can't count them out, right? Othman's going to score goals throughout the series no matter what you do, no matter how bad their numbers on the power play are. You have guys out there with a man advantage. You're going to run into things like that. So North Bay has to make sure that they keep their discipline, make sure their hits are clean, and try and keep this game going the right way.
That's Othman's 6th of the playoffs, and that's his 2nd of the series on the power play here. And the team that has scored first so far through 2 games has won both games. The Battalion looking to reverse that trend here. Although it almost seems like these trends continue in the playoffs for a reason. Puck in deep for the Pete's. Get it up to McDonald. His no-look pass to Bruskowski. Quickly up to Arnsby, who gets it back to McDonald. McDonald flipping it in. Walks out front, takes a sharp angle shot. That's off Simpson's shoulder and out of play. And we'll get a stoppage here as the Pete's now have separated themselves a little bit on the shots on goal, 16-11.
Yeah, now I'm not a big fan of this angle that we have here with this view because I keep seeing shots on net on Simpsons. I'm like, that's in. That's not in. So we'll see how that continues as this goes. If maybe my eyes adjust, but seeing Jackson out here with Procession and Romani, it looks like. Bloom and Romani.
Yeah, quick chance there on Simpson. Bloom tried to tip it, but it was stopped by the goaltender. And now down the ice for the Pete's. They tried to get it past Lucan, couldn't. Bloom, Jackson picks it up in his own zone. Cross ice to Nelson. Nelson. Up ice for Jackson. Jackson missed that one, but he still gets it in deep. Battling against former teammate Cam Govro. Govro leaves it behind the net for Maye. Maye up ice for Stillman. Stillman to Avon. Avon gains the zone. He's taken off the puck by Nelson. And Nelson picks up the loose puck, gets it up ice to Bloom. Bloom has it miss his stick, and now he can't get it out as Beck throws the puck on net. It's tipped well wide of the net. And now Lucan battling for it as the Pete's try to walk out front. Passing out front, missed everybody. And now Pete's continue with possession in the Battalion zone. Back out to Lockhart. He couldn't keep the line. Lockhart now skates the puck right back into Battalion territory. Lockhart with a sharp angle shot, stopped by DiVincentis. The puck landing there, but the Battalion might have gotten lucky there as they were caught puck watching a little bit. As the puck is now back into DiVincentis, who plays it behind his net to Nelson. Nelson up to Jackson. Jackson back to Lucan. Lucan up ice for Romani. Romani flips it into the Pete zone. And now McCoy goes near side here for Lockhart. It's kept in, knocked on net, just tipped wide by Petrov. Centering pass out front for McDonald, and he just missed the net. Now Petrov goes cross ice looking for McDonald. He couldn't handle that one. Now it's back to Mathurin. Mathurin throws it on net. That one missed. And it's to Petrov. Petrov back to Christopoulos. Christopoulos takes a shot. That one's off the stick and knocked out of the zone. Mathurin kicked at it as Othman just flips it down into the Battalion zone. Christopoulos flips it around the end wall to McDonald. McDonald on the far side. Flips across ice right into the Pete's bench. And that'll be another stoppage here. 3:26 left here in this first period.
That almost looked like McDonald was shooting for a home run there over the wall, and he did in fact get it. But we did see some nice chances there out in North Bay coming down the other way. One thing we see on North Bay is after they come off a penalty kill, you see a scatter of players who don't get penalty kill time mashed together, which is something you don't always see, but it's kind of neat to see that guys getting that extra ice time.
Brostowski tries to flip it out. He can't. It's now Arnsby who took that penalty. Tries to get it up quickly to Wakely. Now the Battalion. Brostowski gets it up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel takes a late hit from Paget, but he gets the puck in deep. And now Wakely battling for it along the end wall. Wakely always likes to seem to like to play here, as it's essentially his hometown barn, usually scoring cross ice for Brostowski. Brostowski gives it away, and Hayes had a chance there to go on a breakaway, but he flipped it too far down the ice. Hislop, cross ice for Brostowski, up to Arnsby, who flips it in. Now Maillet with it. Maillet in his own zone. Slowly skates it up, turns on the jet slightly, gains the red line, flips it in. Christopoulos chasing after it. Now the Petes have the possession once again. Stillman behind the net to Avon. Back to Jackson. And now Mathurin flipped it up ice for Urtel. Urtel gains the red line, brings it in, nearly lost it, gets it in deep. Bloom will chase after it. Govro will get to it first. Govro up for Avon as it's flipped down the ice. Jackson back into his own zone. Just over 2 minutes left here in this first period. Pete's lead 1-0. Jackson to Christopoulos. Christopoulos tried to gain the zone, got it to Mathurin, and Mathurin flips it in. Now Spearing with it. Spearing off the boards. That'll go down the ice. And it's a foot race for icing, but Christopoulos was a hair ahead. So the Battalion will have an offensive draw here off the icing call.
Yeah, and the Petes are not happy about that call, as there was Pete actually was the first one to the puck, but Othman and Mathurin have been drawing all the way down the ice from where they had tied up at the Pete's blue line to the other end and then started on their way back again. I think that's going to be something we see being thrown in each other's sides for the rest of this series. Othman seems to like that kind of energy.
Face off to the broadcast side of Simpson. McDonald in for the draw against Robertson. Robertson wins it cleanly. Doesn't get much cleaner than that. Spearing tried to get it out of the zone, but now Petrov throws it on net. McDonald had that bounce off him, and now Robertson's going the other way. Robertson skates it into the zone. Leaves it for Othman, going to the middle of the ice. Another chance there for the Petes, stopped up by Nelson, who's able to get the puck out of the zone. And it's cross ice to McDonald. McDonald walking in. His pass off the body of McCoy. And now it's to Lucan. Lucan flipping it back into the Pete's zone. Simpson out to play it. And he goes near side to McCoy. McCoy, his clearing pass to Othman, makes it down to Lockhart. Lockhart in deep, as that was a good chance there for Dubois. But no chance there, as now Dubois loses the helmet, so he has to rush off to the bench. McDonald nearly gave it away to Petrov in front of the net. Now McDonald up for Zito. Zito walking in. He has the puck knocked off his stick as he tried to walk through every Pete on the ice, and now gets it up to Perdeller. In deep for Mathurin. Battling along the near side wall. Pete's come away with it. And the Petes send it right out of their zone and down to the Battalion bench as Smith has to chase after it. Smith from behind his net. Gains the blue line, sends it down into the Battalion zone. DiVincentis stops it up for Christopoulos. Christopoulos tries to get away from Beck. 20 seconds remain here in this period. And it's 1-0 Petes. On the near side corner, comes out Mathurin with the puck. Gets it up ice, but it's to the point. Now Smith throws it back in. Back to Mathurin. Mathurin stops up, gets it up to Van Steensel. One last rush here for the Battalion, as that'll miss everybody. And now we're going to get an icing call here late against the Battalion with 3.9 seconds left. So scratch that last sentence. It's one last chance for the Petes.
Yeah, and I mean, interesting to note here is that Coach Ullahan had put the Procession Romani line out with Van Steensel against Beck and the top line from the Petes. To show that kind of trust in rookies, like in young players and in rookies, and your fourth line in general shows how deep this team is and how much he trusts all the players to know what they're supposed to do and to do their job.
Face off as they finally get the helmet off the ice in the battalion zone, the Pete's helmet that is. As the face off on the far side, and that'll do it here for this first period as Christopoulos has it behind his net. As now we see a penalty coming to Stillman at the least. We'll have to give you an update on that here in our intermission show as we take you through the stats of this period and also around the league as well. Only one other game could possibly be happening tonight. And of course my Leafs are down 1-0 early against those Panthers, unfortunately. But here we are. Anyways, I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Ben Long. It's 1-0 Pete's after the first period here from the Peterborough Memorial Center.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here. And on the Frontline Game Day broadcast, the North Bay Battalion find themselves down by a score of 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. And I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long here. I'll just take you through the OHL out-of-town scoreboard as we're getting ready here to go through our intermission show. As only one other game to tell you about because, well, we're to the Final Four. And it's 2-0 Sarnia. At the end of the first period there, they are down 2-0 currently in that series to the London Knights. So you want to think that they're going to want to win that one, especially back on home ice because, well, you can't go down 3-0 against the London Knights, especially with the way that Brett Brochu's been playing.
Man, he's been playing incredible this year, especially this playoff run. Like, what was it, a few games ago, I think you were saying that his save percentage is, or his goals against average something like 1.5?
Yeah, 1.53 or something like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, just a little bit. Now looking at the score here in this game, well, it's 1-0 Peterborough off of Brandon Othman. Goal is 6th of the playoffs. The score assisted by Gavin White and Tucker Robertson. And shots on goal 17-13. The Petes are also 1-for-1 on their power play. The Battalion did not get a power play, although there was one called at the end of that period. We'll get more in depth on that one here momentarily. Faceoffs won 14-7 in favor of the Petes, and the quote-unquote lone penalty so far to Liam Arnsby for checking to the head at 13:30 of that first period. And Ben, looks like a slew footing penalty coming up to Chase Stillman, which could be a match penalty against the Petes.
Yeah, the announcement over the PA here had said that it was a slew footing penalty that was being reviewed. I didn't hear the results of the review if they announced it yet, but if that's a match penalty, I mean, that makes a big deal for her.
Well, they're already down Jonathan Malee
Yeah.
to an injury, so the Pete's bench is already short. And if they lose a guy like Chase Stillman, who's part of their offense, well, that might not be good for Rob Francis, the head coach of the Peterborough Petes.
No, for sure not. And I didn't notice, because Owen Beck was the player who took the hit to the head for Martinsby, and he looked shaken up coming to the bench. I didn't notice if he got much ice time after that.
I didn't see him out much. We'll have to keep an eye out as well on him.
Yeah, and that's the thing with head injuries, it's always, you never know exactly what's going on. So you have to watch players carefully, and at this stage, although these are important games, and maybe, this is higher stakes than I ever played hockey, and maybe the highest stakes that some of these guys will play, we have to keep in mind that at the end of the day, hockey is just a game.
Yeah.
And they have full lives outside of the game and after the game. So when you're dealing with stuff like head injuries, you never want to take that too flippantly, because that can cause greater problems down the road.
Well, as a Habs fan, I don't think that you hope. I think you're hoping that this isn't the most high stakes hockey that Owen Beck's going to play.
I hope not. I have great hopes for him as a player. Getting to see him in Mississauga the last few years, I think he's going to be a solid prospect for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, he already has a game under his belt with the Habs this year on an emergency basis, so you could already see him in the Bleu Blanc et Rouge.
Yeah.
That's my terrible impression of French.
The Bleu Blanc et Rouge.
There we go. Yeah, you're a big Habs fan, so. That being said, though, Ben, I would have to say this is probably, the period started out pretty evenly, I would say, through the first 10 minutes or so, and then once the Arnsby penalty happened, the Petes kind of took away momentum, I think, from the Battalion, and I would have to argue this is probably the worst period that we've seen the Battalion play since the opening period of the series.
In that context, I think you're right, but even with that said, right after the Arnsby penalty, North Bay had a couple really good shifts where they had some good chances right away. So I don't view this as a super weak period either. There are definitely points where you're definitely saying, yeah, I'd like to see them shore up that, Peterborough getting that pressure in their end, but some of that has been also due to the weird bounces off the weird-shaped end boards.
Yes.
And that's home ice advantage at its finest for you right there. That you can't do a whole lot to avoid it, but I think by the end of the two games here over the next 26 or 7 hours that there's going to be hockey here in Peterborough until we move back to North Bay. I think North Bay is going to kind of just have to gradually become more accustomed to those weird bounces.
Well, a couple of people here in the chat watching. We got a couple from Paris, Ontario. Hello, that is Foxtrot 1128. Listening from Ferris. Or Paris, not Ferris. Ferris is North Bay.
The Garrison from Harrison.
He is indeed listening. Hello, Harrison from the Garrison. And we also have Brenda Wheeler-Chartrand, who's listening from Enderby, BC. So hello, Brenda, and everyone else listening out that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat to see how far our little broadcast has reached here in the playoffs. We have some people in the Maritimes. We have some people in the West Coast. And they're all listening here, hoping for a Battalion win. Also, shout out Ryan Griffin. I saw your name in there as well. So, Thanks for listening, Ryan.
With the let's go.
Yeah, well, hopefully that we can get a goal here for the Battalion, so I can yell "Let's go" into the microphone for all you fine folks here to.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to turn them down.
With that said, though, Simpson's looking great out there, so goals aren't going to be easy to come by. But Dom DiVincentis has been that way all year, so we can't be too sour grapes that the other team has a great goalie also.
Michael Preston coming in with, there are some Pete's fans too.
Yeah.
And you know what? Welcome, Pete, or welcome, Michael. I hope the game doesn't really go the way you're hoping it goes, but we appreciate you tuning in. And
a couple of the games now I've seen him in the chat there talking about how Simpson is the GOAT.
He's, you know what? If it wasn't for Dom DiVincentis, I would say there's a good argument that Michael Simpson's the best goalie in the league. this season.
I mean,
in the regular season.
In the regular season, yeah. If we're looking postseason, I don't know if Dom even gets that award.
No, Brett Brochu.
Yeah.
Brett Brochu's been unreal for the London Knights so far.
Yeah.
Who got a surprise second-round matchup against the Kitchener Rangers. So, that was kind of a bit of a surprise for the Knights on that side. As I'm sure many thought that the Knights probably would win their first-round series, and I'm sure many people thought that, well, they loaded up with Shane Wright at the deadline, the Windsor Spitfires, and they got Alex Christopoulos, who's been unreal since being traded there and had a great playoff run for them last year. I think a lot of people thought Windsor was going to easily dispatch Kitchener, and, well, that didn't go the way many people thought.
Windsor was the team I was most concerned about coming out of the West when we were heading into the playoffs.
Sarnia is sneaky good.
I mean, they are. But in the games that we've seen them, North Bay's look good against them. I don't even remember what the outcome of the games are.
Sarnia, are we talking about the same Sarnia Sting team? North Bay's lost 2 games to Sarnia this year.
Yeah, but
one of them was 8-2.
Was that the one in Sarnia?
No, that was the one in Sarnia.
Okay, yeah. The one when they were in North Bay, I remember watching them being like, not that big of a deal. We can handle this.
Owen DeRoche giving Michael Preston a bit of some tough love there in the chat.
Yeah.
And Roger Beaulieu coming in with a Habs fan quote. Well, I got to be honest here, Roger. None of that here. Even though Ben Long is a Habs fan. Nope, not allowed. I don't see any Montreal Canadiens prospects on the Battalion. It's General Manager Adam Dennis.
Not anymore.
Who was?
Verbetic was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's playing in their system now.
But General Manager Adam Dennis, doing a good job of not collecting prospects from the Habs.
Yeah, strangely, they do collect them in bunches, eh?
Yeah.
Couple Stars, couple Kraken.
Yeah, well, you can't really help yourself when your 2 players are taken by the Kraken, I guess. But they went out and got, Justin Hertel reported to the Battalion after starting off an NCAA career. And then he was a Stars pick. And then, of course, Kyle McDonald signing with the Stars late in the season. So, just a couple of little things there. And then, as you said, a couple of Kraken, and with Ty Nelson and Kyle Jackson, those 2 getting taken last year in the NHL entry draft by the Kraken, who beating the Colorado Avalanche in their first-round series here this year in 7 games. That's the first time in NHL history I saw that a team has won their first ever playoff series against a defending champ. That's the first time that's ever happened in NHL history.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive to take off the Avs. I do have to say, I think if they have Gabriel Landeskog, it might be a little bit of a different series. How much different, I don't know. But, when the Avs are missing their heartbeat, their captain like that, it's a little tough. But that being said, the Kraken also taking Tucker Robertson of the Petes.
Yep.
And I think, along with Shane Wright on the top of that draft, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think the 2022 NHL draft for the Kraken will go down as one of their best drafts.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe there's a little bias in this because OHL is what we get to watch day in, day out.
Yeah.
But they picked some really good prospects that I think maybe some other teams slept on a little bit. The same way I feel about how Edmonton got Matvei Petrov in the 5th or 6th round. I think that's going to come back to be one of their best late-round picks.
Yeah, I think it has to, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of great Kraken prospects in and around. And, of course, Ron Francis, the general manager of the Kraken, came up in the Sioux, played for the Greyhounds. He is from the Sioux. There's Ron Francis way around the arena in the Sioux. But, yeah, it's a little fun there. So, Michael Preston also coming back. He says he's got to support his uni town, but also hometown is Brampton, so he's bitter. Sounds a little conflicted to me. I think you should be a North Bay fan, Michael. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I think.
University's just a short part of your life, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to leave those university years behind you once you get out of them. Like
yeah.
You may have a good time there, maybe.
Hey, I went to school briefly in Sudbury. I'm not a Wolves fan.
I went to school in St. Catharines, and we know how I feel about that rink.
It's a nice rink. Well, not when you were there.
No, that rink was a disaster when I was there. But they have a beautiful arena now. But we've had less than stellar treatment there. I'm going to be honest. Every rink that we've been to, aside from that one, we've been treated very well by the opposing team staff.
That is true.
It's been fantastic traveling around the league and to see a couple different places, and hopefully more in the years to come. But yeah, we've had stellar treatment everywhere.
Well,
now, in defense of Niagara, we were technically not where we were supposed to be.
Yes. And also it was a different ownership at the time, but we don't need to get too deep into that story because, well, we know what happened to that ownership. That being said, though, I mean, this is our first go-around here in Peterborough.
Although we've been asked for 2 years when we're coming down here.
Yeah, and I have to say, Michael, your University Town's rink is quite fun here in the Peterborough Memorial Center. But with that being said, we will go to a quick break here, and we'll be back on the other side of this with more Battalion hockey on the Frontline Game Day broadcast when Ben figures it out.
We have a little technical difficulty here. We'll be right back.
Eventually. I'm not the one running the computer.
I'm not sure why it's not cutting to it right now here.
Well, anyways, so we'll kill some more time here.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Michael Preston, once again, being one of our most vocal guys on YouTube. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long as we get set here for period number 2 at the Peterborough Memorial Center. And he says, so old, gotta love the Memorial Center. Well, if you love rinks with attitude and character, why don't you come up and see another Memorial rink, Memorial Gardens in North Bay. I promise you, you won't be disappointed watching a North Bay Battalion game, as the Battalion are back out on the ice now, and now come the Petes as well. This period, the Petes will be going in their home maroons right to left, and the Battalion right in front of us in the road whites will be going left to right, as we will start this period with the Battalion down 1-0. A referee did skate right over to Ryan Houlihan, I'm assuming to explain the Stillman situation, and we'll have to see now what the situation is as the Petes slowly make their way back out onto the ice.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone in the penalty box for Peterborough yet, though, so we'll see what comes of that. But an interesting thing with this rink that we've talked about, how it's a bit of an odd rink as well, is that North Bay doesn't have an extended change here. It's the same on either way. But Peterborough does actually have an extended change on this, where their nearest door is still on the one side of the red line, because they have the penalty box on their side as well.
The door is open. I don't see Chase Stillman out there. So I'm going to guess Chase Stillman did receive a match penalty. I also didn't see Jonathan Malie as well.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see him back tonight.
Jeremy, I do not remember the Niagara Thunder, unfortunately. And we'll have to see who the Petes decide to put in the box. As it looks like, yes, indeed, Chase Stillman has been given a match 5-minute penalty for slew footing. So, slew footing often also comes with a suspension.
Yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye out on that one. As it looks like the Battalion are going to have a 5-minute power play here to start period number 2.
To be a bit of a homer, I like the way this is going.
I'll let you know again when the puck is dropped. And the puck is dropped, and we're underway here for period number 2 as the Petes get the puck first. And Nelson gets it in his zone as the Petes send it down the ice. So no more Chase Stillman in this one as Ty Nelson slowly out from behind his net. Major power play here for the Battalion. Down cross ice to Petrov. Petrov with a shot. That one hit a body and went wide. And now the Petes try to flip it back around. Back to Nelson at the point. Nelson. Far side for Jackson. Back to Nelson. Nelson. Near side for Petrov. Petrov. Back to Nelson. Quickly back to Petrov. Cross ice for Jackson. Jackson walks in. Takes the shot. Simpson with the save. And now it's a quick time to tell you about the Battalion power play, which is sitting 4th in the league right now. They're 14 for 54 at 25.9%, although the Petes sitting 2nd in the playoffs at 90.3 on the penalty kill, only trailing the team they ousted in the last round at 90.6, the Ottawa 67s. They've given up 3 goals on 31 chances as the puck is set to be dropped on the far side across from Simpson. Jackson wins it back to Nelson. Nelson back to the far side for Jackson. Jackson in deep for McDonald. McDonald quickly back to Nelson. Nelson walking the line to Petrov. Petrov walks in, goes cross ice for McDonald. He couldn't get a shot away. And now the Petes have possession briefly, and they're going to be able to clear the zone as Petrov wasn't anywhere near the point. Petrov back into his own zone. Skates the puck up and out. Gets it to Zito. Zito quickly back to Petrov. Petrov gains the zone. Slowly from the goal line. Petrov behind the net to McDonald. McDonald back to Petrov. Petrov back to the point for Nelson. Nelson throws that one on net, and that one's just tipped wide by Zito. Good chance there for Spearing to try and clear as the puck is now battled in the corners. We're a minute and a half gone on the major penalty against Chase Stillman. Battalion with all sorts of zone possession though, as the puck is under a body. Battling again on the far side, and the referees finally blow it dead. As Pete's faithful here appreciate the effort of Spearing, the captain of this team, just getting down on top of the puck and taking all kinds of abuse from the Battalion.
Yeah, North Bay's really digging hard in there, but they're having a bit of trouble making those plays to get open guys up to get good chances on net. And the big thing is with a team like Peterborough, when you have a guy like Simpson in net, not only do you have to get guys open to get chances, you then have to beat the goalie. So let's see if they can, take advantage of this extended play they have here. They have another 3 minutes and 3 minutes and 18 seconds on the power play here.
Bloom in for the draw on the far side. And it's just knocked down by the Petes, who send it around behind the net. Ertel is going to get to that one first. Back to the point for Christopoulos. Christopoulos taking over for Avery Winslow. Goes far side for Bloom. Or to Wakely. Back to Christopoulos. Near side now. Back to Christopoulos. Over to Wakely. Wakely looks for the shot. That one's blocked by Govro. And the Petes tried to clear, but it's kept in by Christopoulos. In for Wakely. Wakely to Romani. Romani walking in, takes a shot. That one hit a body and just went wide. Now Bloom with it. Over to Romani. Romani back to Christopoulos. Christopoulos to Romani. Romani in deep for Bloom. Bloom walks around the perimeter. Back to Christopoulos. Christopoulos over to Wakely. He took his time on that shot, so that one's blocked by Govro. The puck comes out to Bloom. Bloom with a shot. And that one's just kicked aside by Simpson. And then a Battalion player knocked down. That's Wakely. No call coming on that one. 2:24 left in the major penalty. And now it's back to Bloom. Bloom back to Christopoulos. Christopoulos walking as the whole Battalion bench is standing. Now to Wakely, in tight for Romani, and he just threw that one wide. He had Simpson down and out, but couldn't get the puck on net. Now back to Wakely. Wakely walking the line. Walks in. Leaves it for Bloom. Bloom walks in, takes a shot. Simpson with the save there. And the puck is out to the line, kept in by Christopoulos. Under 2 minutes now left on the major penalty to Stillman. Walking in with another chance, and that one's stopped up by Simpson. And Wakely goes to the front of the net and mixing things up. As now the Battalion are going to get a chance here with their first unit out there once again.
That was a really solid power play there. A lot of good movement with the puck around and some really good chances. Romani had a really nice chance walking up the middle there. Bloom had a couple good shots. Wakely had a couple good shots. Christopoulos was doing a really good job moving that puck to where it needed to be to have an open chances. And we'd like to see some more of that with the top power play unit out here.
Jackson wins it back to Petrov. Petrov in tight for McDonald. McDonald to Zito. He leaves the puck to Nelson. Nelson sends it right back into Jackson. Jackson behind the net. Far side to McDonald. McDonald back to the point for Petrov. Petrov to McDonald. Back to Petrov quickly, and they trade spots. Now back to McDonald. McDonald cross to Nelson. Nelson walks in, takes a shot, misses the net completely, but Jackson picks up the loose puck. Jackson once again cross ice to Nelson. Nelson in deep, goes back around behind the net to Petrov. Petrov loses it to Spearing, but Jackson gets to it, and he sends it right back in. Now the Pete's tying up the Battalion player. Nelson will have to get quickly over to keep the puck in, and he does. Nelson, sharp angle, back to McDonald. McDonald to Jackson, back to McDonald. He loses the puck, and now the Pete's have a chance, but Nelson with some good speed takes away a chance for Hayes with 50 seconds remaining on the power play. Nelson to Zito. Zito goes cross ice. Jackson has to pick up the bouncing puck, and he sends it back to Petrov, who sends it right back in. And the Pete's vacate the zone. 5-minute major, and the Battalion can't get a goal. As of right now, 38 seconds remain. Zito with the puck. Nearly lost it to Avon. And now the Pete's once again get possession.
This has been an impressive shift by Avon out there.
Puck sent right back down to the Battalion zone. Petrov with it. Back out, tries to get to Lukin. And the Battalion led a great golden opportunity. Passed them by with 13 seconds left on the man advantage. Petrov up the ice into the Pete's zone. He tries to pass it back. And now it's just sent right back down to the Battalion zone. Divinchentis out to play it. And that'll do it here for the man advantage as the Battalion cannot get a goal. Othman now goes cross ice. Mathurin stopped that chance. And now Lukin tries to flip it out. Back in around behind the net. The Pete's to Othman. Othman flips it cross ice. And now Maye walking in with it. Maye stops up. Goes to the middle of the ice. Othman to Robertson. He put that one wide as he had Divinchentis down and out. Now another chance thrown on net. Divinchentis stopped. And then Lukin comes in. He'll take a penalty, even though Othman knocked over Divinchentis. And now we'll see Lukin in the box.
So that was interesting play there. That there's a couple guys that got in the way of Divinchentis there at different points. And
Robertson and Othman.
Yeah.
And the Battalion are penalized.
Yeah. But with that said, with that power play we just saw, maybe going shorthanded.
Well, the Pete's are 1 for 1 on the power play here this evening.
But you know, as you know, Lucan's, you can't let him stand in front of your goalie and knock your goalie around like that.
Divinchentis is looking at the referee. He's getting a explanation here. I don't think he likes what he's hearing just from his body language.
Yeah, now Christopoulos is stepping in and saying some words, and the ref's saying no more, face off. And Divinchentis is not done talking to him yet.
I don't blame him. Get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Arnsby in for the draw with Robertson. Now Divinchentis is going to take his time checking his helmet. The Peterborough fans don't like that very much.
And the ref doesn't seem to be too much of a fan of it either.
Christopoulos is getting heated too. And I can't, like, again, I'm with these guys on that one. There should at least be, both teams should at least see a guy in the box. I'm not arguing the Battalion should have a penalty, but come on. Othman, who should be in the box, is out there, but it's stopped by Christopoulos. Christopoulos sent down the ice, and Lucan gets an interference call is what it is.
Yeah.
The goalie interference doesn't exist here. White up the ice now. Gives it to Hayes. Now it's across ice to White. Back to the point. Chance on net. Stopped by DiVincentis and knocked aside by the Battalion. 1:30 left here on the man advantage for Peterborough. White behind his net. Slowly up the ice. Gets it to Othman, who it's off his stick. Nelson will chase after. Nelson gets to it first, banks it off the boards, and sends it down the ice. The Battalion coming into this game with one of the best penalty kills. They're 7th so far in the league, 9 for 51. Goals against are 82.4 on the penalty kill, although they have allowed a goal. As now it's Avon walking in. Avon sends his pass, goes all the way around the Battalion zone and down into the Pete's territory as Zanetti is going to have to be the first one to pick that one up. 45 seconds remaining on the Lucan penalty. And Maye goes cross ice. Once again looking out front, stopped up by Hislop, as that could have been a dangerous pass cross ice. And he's just going to send that one down the ice to kill some more time. 30 seconds remain here on the man advantage. From their zone, the Petes come. Now it's Beck out there. We haven't seen him in a while. To McDonald. McDonald couldn't get the puck past that one. It's back to Maye. Goes back to the point for Zanetti, who just muscles it in, but Mathern stops that one and sends it right back down. 10 seconds remaining. McDonald will be the first person on the puck. McDonald battling for the puck in the Pete zone. Kills off some precious time there. As now the Battalion are going to come back to 5-on-5 with Lucan coming out of the box. Hayes walks in, throws a weak backhanded chance on net. Stopped aside by DiVincentis, and then Mathern gets it up to the point where it's left, and now Petrov goes the other way. Petrov walks in, takes the shot, missed the net on that one. And now the Pete's battling for it. Zanetti comes away with it and gets it down the ice. That's brought in.
Yeah, that was well offside.
And well offside there is the play. So with 12:04 left here in period number 2, the Pete's lead 1-0. Although the Battalion had a great opportunity here, as Dan O'Toole is in attendance here tonight.
Ooh, celebrity.
TSN fame, of course.
But yeah, that was a great power. So we didn't have time to talk about it, but that was a great penalty kill by North Bay, and Peterborough just couldn't seem to get anything set up. We see why they're maybe at the numbers that they're at with that power play for sure.
Puck is one down into the Pete zone, and Peterborough gets possession first. Puck up the ice now, flipped up and out, as Perdeller takes a shot from the point, and now it's to Dubois. Dubois knocked aside. Arnsby gets the loose puck, and now Van Steensel with it. Van Steensel gains the red line, throws it down the ice. Simpson out to play the puck. Comes back around Arnsby. Out front of Van Steensel, tries to take a shot. It's in the leg of Wakely. Wakely battles for it, comes away with it, and flips it back in for Arnsby. Arnsby flips it in for Van Steensel, but the Petes pick up the loose puck. And now it's flipped down to the Battalion zone for Hislop. Hislop in his own zone. Stops up. Gives it to Brustowski. Brustowski down the ice to Wakely. Wakely cross ice to Petrov, but he misses that one. Now Brustowski flips it in. Zito looking in deep. Couldn't get the pass to go, and the Petes send it right back down the ice. Kennedy getting a rare shift here. Flips the puck down into Pete's territory for Govro. McCoy up the ice is picked off by Kennedy. He tried to get it back up and down the ice to Zito, but he missed that one. Now Othman carries the puck in. Othman gave it away back to McDonald. McDonald goes cross ice to Nelson. Nelson looks up ice, gets it to Zito. Zito leaves it for Petrov. Petrov looks center of the ice for Nelson, and it was just out of his reach, but Kennedy keeps it in. Flipped in behind the net. Spearing's going to get to that one. And now it's back to Petrov. Petrov back to Nelson. Kennedy. Kennedy flips it right back into the end wall, and the Petes sweep it away from harm's way. Back into the Battalion zone. Gets it to Nelson, who takes a dangerous hit, and that'll be a penalty against the Petes. As now the Battalion look to answer as well. Nelson slowly getting up, but that one hurt.
Yeah, after he threw Nelson down like that, he immediately threw Kennedy down right after. In almost exact same fashion.
Maye. Yeah, both of them were down in the corner. So that'll be 2 minutes. And we'll have to see if the Battalion, who did have good zone time but couldn't score on that 5-minute man advantage, gets something done here with less time.
Yeah. And they're going with the
second unit.
The second unit, which
they
this is a danger. They looked better on the last 5 minutes.
I would argue they looked like the better unit.
But I mean, when you're sitting here saying, okay, our second unit has Bloom, Romani, Wakely, Ertel, Christopoulos, you're not doing too bad for yourself.
10-13 here. The Battalion have a power play opportunity. Pete's get it up to the point to Bloom, but Bloom keeps it in. Bloom skates in on the near side. Gets it in deep to Romani. Romani knocks his man down, gets it back to Christopoulos. Christopoulos looked to go cross ice, but no one was there. Goes in for Romani to Wakely. Wakely sends it behind the net. Back to Bloom. Bloom. Now battle on the near side corner. Flips it back around. Romani will have to chase after it. But the Petes will get to that one first, and they'll send the puck down the ice. And Ryan Houlihan immediately wants a change with 35 seconds gone on the man advantage with 1:20 coming up left here. Jackson. Nelson back out on the ice. Good to see. Now Jackson goes cross ice to McDonald. McDonald leaving it up for Zito. Zito leaves it back to the point for Nelson. Nelson walks in to Petrov. Petrov with a shot. That one rode up off his stick and over the net. Now back to Jackson. To Zito on the far side. Zito walking in. Goes cross ice to Petrov. Petrov back to Jackson. Jackson with a shot. That one hits the back end of the rink. And the Petes get possession and flip it down the ice. 50 seconds here remain on this man advantage. DiVincenzo's quickly up ice to Jackson. Leaves it for Nelson. Nelson skates in. Takes a shot. Simpson with a save there. Rebound chance. Batted at the Pete's net. But it's knocked away and out. And the Battalion will have to regroup. Jackson with 40 seconds to work with. Gets it to Zito. Puck on the near side for the Petes. Can't get it out though as McDonald keeps it into Nelson. Now back to Jackson. Jackson walks in, takes another shot. Simpson saves that one. Rebound comes out. Zito tries to skate away with it, but the Petes get it pinned to the boards. Now it's back to McDonald. McDonald passes it out, and it hops over Petrov's stick. Now Nelson in a foot race with Lockhart. It's flipped out, and Petrov gets to it and flips it down the ice. Zito catches it. And with 10 seconds left, that'll likely do it here. The Battalion 0 for 2 on the man advantage now to Nelson. Now it's to Jackson. Jackson to McDonald. McDonald. And it's official to Zito. Zito takes the shot. Battalion are 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Pete's 1 for 2 so far on theirs. And it's a 1-0 Peterborough game. Near side wall to Zito. Zito knocked hard into the boards. And now the Petes struggle to get it out, but they do find the loose puck. And they do get it out. Othman down into the Battalion zone, left it there at the blue line, tried to flip it in. Procession blows a tire while trying to play the puck, and now Hislop has it. Hislop quickly up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel in, takes the shot, just missed the net, and then the puck died there. Simpson got enough of it though to cover it up, and then a late hit has a Battalion player down on the ice after the whistle, looking for an explanation.
Yeah, so that was Procession that was knocked over there, and it was sort of, they both ran into each other, and he just sort of got the worst of it, but it looks like we're heading into our mid-period timeout, so we will be back right after this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
So, one thing with that power play, though they may not have scored, they actually did control the puck a lot better, moved around a lot better, got some looks towards the net. So I think that's a good improvement that we saw over that 5 minute where they really, especially that first power play unit, didn't do a whole lot. I was glad to see them have a little better control of the puck in the end and at least look like the threat that we know this Battalion team can and should be. Now, with the game so far, Simpson's been making all the saves that he's had to make, but he's left some rebounds out there that have been kind of juicy for if North Bay can get to that net front position. We might find ourselves with some chances that way. And the line that's out there right now is the line that may be one that's inclined to be the ones that are at that net front presence.
Arnsby out there for the draw. Tries to win it back, but the Pete's get possession. Christopoulos keeps it in, sends it right back in deep for Arnsby. Arnsby looking out front. His pass didn't find Van Steensel. Now he looks back for Procession. Picked off by Beck. Van Steensel comes in, tries to muscle it off of him. And now Procession throws his weight around. And the puck back to Christopoulos. And now we're going to see a penalty here against the Battalion. Because why not?
That was a hitting from behind.
I know, I'm just saying, It's ridiculous at this point. Like, guys, come on. But, in other news, for how to give Courtney his worst possible night ever, the Blue Jays are losing, and now it's 2-0 for the Panthers as well.
Man, this is not your night.
Nope, not enjoying this one bit. I just tell you, the lift locks tomorrow better be worth it.
Yeah. And this game's only a 1. With North Bay, we know 1 goal is never enough, that a team can feel that their lead is safe against North Bay with 1.
Puck will be dropped on the near side to Arnsby against Robertson. And Arnsby battling for it. It's knocked down to Lockhart. Lockhart. Back to Lockhart at the point. Lockhart goes cross ice to White. White walks the line. Takes a shot, blocked aside by DiVincentis. Now Arnsby tried to flip it out of the zone, but it's stopped by Hayes. Hayes going cross ice to Othman. Othman sends it on net. It misses, and now it's near side for Hayes. Hayes back cross ice for Othman. Othman. His pass back to the point. Nearly picked off by the Battalion, and now Arnsby gets to it on the near side. He's knocked off the puck by Lockhart, and Robertson comes away with it, battling with Lucan. Robertson back out front to Hayes. Hayes with a quick shot from a dangerous area, turned aside by DiVincentis. And we'll get another stoppage here.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good battle of the Battalion on this penalty kill so far. The Pete's did a good job moving the puck around, but the Battalion are staying on them. But as you know, the saying goes, you need your goalie to be your best penalty killer, and DiVincentis is doing this penalty for them. He moved across very well there, got himself square the puck, and just held on to it and didn't let anything loose.
A little bit of good news. Matthew Nyes with his first career OHL or NHL goal, so it's now 2-1. As we have the Pete still on the power play here, back to White at the point, cross ice to Othman, fanning on that one. And Nelson gets the loose puck and sends it down the ice. And with 1:15 left, Ertel in a foot race with White. Left behind, Ertel tries to get to it first. He does, and tries to battle the puck away from the Petes, but the Petes do come away with it. Not for long, however, as the loose puck comes to Hislop. Hislop down to Ertel, walking in, takes the shot. Simpson gloves it down, and calmly flips it over to White. 14 minutes gone here in the second period. Pete's lead 1-0. 45 seconds left on the man advantage for Peterborough. And now Hislop comes away with it. Now Othman with it. Othman goes cross ice to Robertson. Robertson behind the net. Back to the point for White. White switches places with Hayes. Throws the puck on net to Robertson. Wide open net for Beck. Throwing it cross ice. DiVincentis was down and out, but the Petes couldn't convert on that chance. One pass too many. Now to White. Now to Beck off the rebound. And it's back to Othman. Othman throwing it on net. Blocked aside by DiVincentis, and McDonald's going to get to it. With 10 seconds remaining, he's just going to rush the puck down the ice. McDonald walking in. Takes a shot. Simpson to Zito. And the Battalion.
It's a goal!
The Battalion score! Pasquale Zito ties the game shorthanded. And we got a 1-1 game.
That was such a heads-up play by McDonald to look up and see he had Zito with him, and the penalty was nearing the end. They took the breakdown, just went to the net with it. And while the Petes couldn't find the puck, Zito just kind of jumped on it, and we're all sitting here saying, what's going on? I didn't even see the puck go in the net. I just see the ref gesture a goal.
It was a little bit tough to see from this angle because, well, we're so far down into the Battalion end for this period. But that's Zito's second of the series, and it's also Zito's seventh of the playoffs. Pasquale Zito proving to be a sneaky good pickup by general manager Adam Dennis, who exchanged him for Michael Potaloo and picks to the Niagara Ice Dogs in December. And now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey, and this game is all evened up at 1. And that's what you got to do to beat a guy like Simpson, is get secondary chances. Back to the point for Christopoulos. Christopoulos flips it back into Van Steensel. Van Steensel looked to go cross ice to Wakely, but the pass was picked off and sent down to Beck. Or Avon, rather. Avon skating around the Battalion zone, knocked off the puck by Mathurin, And now he has the loose puck. Looks for Wakely. His pass knocked off the skate of a Pete's player, but now Mathurin leads the rush. Mathurin deep in the Pete's zone. Battling for possession. The puck is just pinned down there as it finally comes loose, but it's not for long as it's pinned along the far side half wall. And now Maillet comes away with it to Avon. Avon back to Maillet. Maillet down the ice. And it's flipped down around, and that'll go for icing here as the Petes plead their case, but it looks like icing is the call here at the Peterborough Memorial Center.
Yeah, and the refs are sorting out what's happening there. Now, that was a great play to end that penalty kill by the battalion, but I want to comment on Justin Hurtel, who was, when there's an announcement that there was going to be a player signing and we all thought it was going to be someone else and it was him, we were all a little disappointed because of who we thought it was. But he's been, maybe not as offensive threatening as I was hoping he was going to be coming into the season, but he's been great on the defensive end on the penalty kill like that.
And he's very physical. He's out there right now. Not afraid to throw his weight around as he does with Maillet in the far side corner. And of course, come playoff time, that really lends itself well. As the Petes have possession in the battalion zone. Beck with it. Beck throws it out front. Page with a good shot there. Stopped by DiVincentis. And a bit of a scrum ensues right out front of his net with 3:52 remaining here in the second period.
Yeah, and that was something like I was saying earlier, I think coming out of the mid-period break was, out of Simpson, he's been making the initial saves, but he's been leaving a lot of rebounds right there on the doorstep. North Bay just has to have guys get there to them, and Zito did that right there. That play with Dom shows one of the differences is that he does not leave pucks on the doorstep most of the time.
Pete's with possession in the battalion zone, but Arnsby gains the loose puck, and now it's to Christopoulos. Christopoulos gains the red line, flips it into Peterborough territory. Simpson out to play the puck behind his net, flips it up and out, but Mathurin keeps it in and sends it right back in deep into the corner. Pinned up against the end wall now in the Pete zone. Battling for possession, the battalion and the Petes, but the Petes come away with it as that's Lockhart with it. Lockhart, who had an impressive series against those 67s, gets the puck into the battalion zone. Page tried to throw the puck out front, and he's taken off the puck, and now Arnsby quickly up ice to Van Steensel, who just tips it in, and that line's going to go for a quick change. Puck quickly right back down to the battalion zone. Nelson picks it up before it could be icing, and now with speed out of his zone. Ty Nelson up to Petrov, back to Nelson. He couldn't corral that pass as Peterborough looks to go back up the ice to Robertson. Robertson flips it up for Hayes. Hayes can't get too far past Lucan, but Robertson does. Robertson tries to throw it on net. DiVincentis is pushed into his net. Pete's fans looking for a goal, and now the puck, it was in the net, but DiVincentis was pushed into the net.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to be a goal call because it was in his glove outside the net and he was pushed into the net by the Pete's player. If we don't see a goalie interference call here, though, I'll be very surprised.
Well, they've already missed one chance on one.
Yeah.
And DiVincentis already giving an earful to that same referee as well.
Are they getting one?
So it looks like both teams are getting a penalty here. Maillet and Nelson will be going to the box. DiVincentis is just looking for somebody to kind of protect him here, and he doesn't feel like he's getting that from the referees.
No, not at all. Now, I believe the call was on the initial thing, was on him. Then Nelson jumped on the guy, and he got the call also.
Well, Nelson's not going to let that go by the wayside.
No,
right?
and that's the penalty that I think as a coach, you take that and you say, okay, I'd like to not see Ty Nelson in the box, but I would, more than that, rather not see them taking liberties on Dom DiVincentis, so you take it. But yeah, that's not the way we like to see there.
It looks like 4-on-4 hockey.
Yeah. Now, an interesting note on something that we've seen up till in this period is that they seem to have switched possession into being in Tarasevich's position on the wing with Arnsby and Van Steensel, which I like because I love the Romani-Wakely combination. I think they just play really well together.
They've been really good together this playoff.
And then when you get to throw someone, you're either throwing Petrov or Zito or Jackson or someone on with them. I think that just makes a really dynamic line there. That just is a great thing to see.
And Procession's a really big body, right?
He's a big body and he plays with it, right? For a first-year player in the OHL.
Play is under review.
I wonder what they're reviewing.
Well, it can't necessarily be a goal. Like we said, DiVincentis was pushed into the net.
I mean, it's possible that Peterborough asked for a review. I would be very surprised to see them give their call on that because the puck was in his glove outside of it, and then he was directly pushed into the net by the Pete's player.
Well, the unfortunate part is our replay angle is we only have like a quarter of the screen here.
Yep.
Where, because the overhang here in Peterborough hangs down so low.
If we duck, we could see it.
And even then, I got a 30-year-old back now, Ben. It's not that great.
I got an almost 40-year-old back, Courtney.
A little bit of an interesting thing here. If you look down at the Battalion bench, Charlie Robertson has to sit off the bench.
He's not even on the bench
No.
there.
It's kind of like in Montreal where the away team's goalie has to be on the other side of the ice.
Yeah.
His backup goalie.
I would not be envious of that goalie having to enter the game.
No. Hey, Blue Jays are up 6-3 now.
Hey, what do you know? Your day's turning around, Courtney.
A little bit. Alex O'Hare is telling me that he wants to see me ducking. You do not. The only time you want to see me ducking, Alex, is when I hit a 40-yard chip shot into the into the hole, and then ducking down to pull that ball out while I help out our scramble team. You do not want to see anything like that. There's still no replay though, so I wonder what they are replaying here or reviewing here. Is even the one referee kind of keeps looking up at the clock. Maybe it's the penalties. Maybe it's the severity of the penalties.
It could be.
Ryan Houlihan has the tablet out looking at something. Doesn't look like the Pete's bench is too concerned with looking at something, but Houlihan and Scott Ray are both looking at something right now on the Battalion bench.
Yeah. And Scott Ray is yelling across at the refs as he walks away from Houlihan, so he must have saw something there.
Well, Scott Ray is a fiery competitor. That's one thing I've come to know about him.
Yeah. I'm going to bet it has to do with the severity of the goalie contact.
I mean, that's what I mean. There's been one missed chance of goaltender interference against the Petes already this period.
Yeah.
And if I'm Dom DiVincentis, I'm feeling like I'm not safe in my crease.
Yeah.
You know, what's going to stop the Petes from taking a bigger run at him,
and
right?
The important thing is that as this level of hockey, they want to take fighting out as much as they possibly can. They want to take out the after the whistle stuff. And if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that your refs are protecting the players on the ice the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And for the most part in these playoffs, I think we've actually seen pretty good reffing.
I could agree with that.
Now, have there been missed calls? Of course there have.
Well, the tendency at this level, at the NHL level, is to put away the whistles after a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's something completely egregious.
Yeah. And that's where I was a little more, they're stepping away? Oh, they were reviewing if it was a goal. Interesting.
And no goal.
Yeah. Which I think we said that right off the top. Look at us being refs.
We are experts, with air quotations around the word experts. McCoy back into the Battalion zone as we're back underway. Throws the puck cross ice as we're into 4-on-4 hockey. Robertson taken into the corner by Christopoulos. Christopoulos battling for the puck on the near side corner. Again, the square corners here in Peterborough. A little bit of a different look here in the OHL compared to other rinks, including Memorial Gardens. To McDonald. McDonald leaves it behind his net for Christopoulos. Christopoulos slowly in the corner. Looks up ice, goes to Zito. Zito couldn't handle the pass as the Petes just try to send it right back in. That's McCoy. Now Zito flips it right back in. McDonald comes for the puck, and we have 1:20 left on the 4-on-4 hockey. McDonald walking into the Pete's zone, takes the shot, hit a stick high over the net, and it's out of play.
You know what? McDonald is such a big boy. When he gets going down the center of the ice like that, I really am not envious of the defenseman being like, oh no, he's coming right at me. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't want to go into a corner with him either.
And he's got hands, right? So you can't really do too much because you try to step into him and he's around you, and that's not something you want.
Jackson back to Mathurin, gets it back in for Jackson. Jackson looking back to the point, and now the Petes, Avon will have a chance. Avon tries to walk around Hislop. He's knocked off the puck, and then a centering pass is knocked away by the legs of Hislop. Now Petrov down the ice. Walks in, leaves it for Jackson. Tries to take a shot. It rolled off his stick, and it's into the corner. Avon flips it back in. And now we have the Petes with possession in their own zone. With 40 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4. Avon walking and takes a sharp angle shot. Knocked aside by DiVincentis. Zanetti picks it up. Zanetti pins the puck against the boards, but Jackson plays it to Mathurin. We're just over a minute left in this period. Gets it up to Petrov. Back to Jackson. Jackson walking in. Over to Petrov. He scores! Matvey Petrov gives the Battalion the lead here with a minute and 2 seconds left in the second period.
That was just a beautiful play by both Petrov and Jackson. I mean, it started with a nice breakout pass. I think it was Mathurin that passed it up to Petrov, got in, handed it off to Jackson, who just went around a Peterborough player, found that open lane for Petrov to be in, passed it back to him, and Simpson just didn't have a chance. You're either cheating and giving Jackson an open net while he's coming towards you, or you leave the other side open for Petrov, and that's a no-win proposition, I think.
Matvey Petrov with his first goal of the series, his second point overall, and also his third goal of this postseason run. Wild 17 assists, but as we know, they review everything here at this level of the playoffs, Eastern Conference final that is, as we saw last year against Hamilton. So there's a quick review here. 20 seconds left on the 4-on-4. We just had a lengthy review, so please don't make it as lengthy.
Yeah. I mean,
it's also, sorry, go ahead.
As much as I like hearing my own voice, really, let's get this play going. We can hear more Courtney going on here.
I don't know if anybody wants to hear your voice. I had to hear it all the way down from North Bay today in the car.
On a day like today, with my throat the way it's feeling, I don't want to have to be hearing my own voice as much as possible also.
A minute and 2 seconds left in this period. Matvey Petrov has the potential go-ahead goal here for the Battalion. The referees aren't on the phone, but the off-ice scorers are.
I imagine it's offside. They have to check really every goal. Is that sort of the main thing they're looking at?
Shots on goal so far, as here we get a replay as it's down the ice, and we do see Petrov.
Oh.
He might have crossed the line before the puck. It is very close.
Goal.
And it is a goal. So Matvey Petrov has put up the Battalion 2-1 officially with a minute and 2 seconds left on the clock. It's still 20 seconds of 4-on-4. Rob Francis asking the referee for an explanation and the linesman. As the linesman is giving his explanation. We won't have the press conference after the game live for you. I said Rob Wilson.
You keep saying, I thought you said Francis.
Sorry if I said Rob Francis. No, it's Rob Wilson, the head coach of the Petes. I should know. I've been in 2 press conferences with the man now, I would hope. Lucan, speaking of those press conferences, we won't have it live for you on Instagram after the game, as now a stick gets up of Lockhart into DiVincentis, and nothing coming off that one. Lucan flips the puck in weakly on net, and now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here. Pete's with possession as Nelson goes cross ice. Looking up ice for Othman. It's off his skates and into the corner. Lucan, first on that one, flips the puck up. And now Ertel gets to it. Ertel up to Bloom. Bloom looking for Arnsby. Arnsby walking in, takes a chance. And Simpson got his leg across to stop that one. What a save by Michael Simpson here in the dying seconds of the second period to thwart Battalion going up 2 goals. And now the puck comes out and Simpson stops that one with 14.9 seconds left on the clock. What I was trying to say is we won't have it live, but if you want coverage of it, well, check out the OHL social media, of course. They're always pretty good, especially Jordan Henry here in the building. If not, check out Bay Today, which will have a breakdown, well, some quotes from that press conference in the post-game article as well.
Yeah, and speaking of the game, that was almost going to have to be mentioned in the press, right up there with Arnsby. Almost had a goal there. He's been looking more dangerous than ever in the 2 years that I've seen him play.
Picking up a game-winning goal in the last game. Now puck back to Nelson with a quick shot. Turned aside by Simpson. Back to the point. Nelson keeps it in, throws it cross ice. Bloom chasing after it. Quick chance here for the Battalion, but the time is going to run out here. And after 40 minutes of play, as we get some rough stuff after the whistle.
Oh, Zito's going to be in the box for that one, I suspect.
Some rough stuff as well, as Zito got a glove up in the face of a Pete's player.
Yeah, Zito got hit late, and it was after the whistle, and it was definitely late, but the ref was not calling it looked like. But Zito got up and went right back after him. And, you know, Zito plays with the fire.
Yeah, he's not afraid to mix it up.
And I love that when players play like that. But you also have to watch that you're not crossing that line, because you could end up down for 2 minutes.
Well, we'll have to see if anything comes of that, as it doesn't look as of right now. But, of course, we'll keep an eye on the stats for you there. But after 40 minutes of play, the Battalion hold a 2-1 lead here in game number 3 against the Peterborough Petes on the Frontline Game Day broadcast. We'll be back with our intermission show on the other side of this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road. Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center for our second intermission show. The Battalion lead 2-1, and we will get to our Players to Watch here just momentarily after I take you around the league, which, of course, only features one other stop, and that's Sarnia is up 3-1 after 40 minutes of play. That's George Diaco getting the Knights on the board in the second period, but Luca Del Bel Belouz 27 seconds into the first period, and Nolan Burke in the first, putting them up 2-0 there. And then Sasha Pastujov halfway through, or 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes into the second period, put them up 3-0 before George Diaco cut the lead to 2. In this game, well, things changed a little bit at the end there, as the Battalion were down 1-0 coming into the period by the Petes, but now they currently lead 2-1, scoring 2 goals in that period. Shots an even 10-10 as well, 27-23 altogether. The Battalion 0-for-2 on the power play. Pete's 1-for-3 on theirs. Faceoffs won 26-15 as well. Brendan Othman scoring the first goal of the game in the first period, 14 minutes in, assisted by Tucker Robertson and Gavin White. In the second period, 14:43 into the middle frame, shorthanded Pasquale Zito scored a goal after he charged the net to convert on a Kyle McDonald chance. And late, with just over a minute left in the second, Matvey Petrov with his third goal, assisted by Kyle Jackson, Antonius Mathurin. Lots of penalties to tell you about in that period. Chase Stillman got a match penalty for his slew foot. It was served by Quentin Paget. That was at the end of the first period. Alexander Lukin for interference 5.5 minutes in. Samuel Maillet for interference at 2:97, or at 9:47. Owen Van Steensel got a check from behind at 12:49. Ty Nelson for roughing at 17:18, and along with Samuel Maillet for slashing at 17:18. And that brings you up to date with our game. And as talking about our players to watch, well, J.R. Avon hasn't found himself on the score sheet yet. He has shown an awful lot of speed in this game. But Pasquale Zito, our player to watch for the Battalion, so far had the equalizing goal. Short-handed, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way he plays, right? And that's what we've seen out of him here tonight. Now, with Avon in mind as well, his penalty killing has been fantastic tonight. He's been out there. He's been a menace. He's been, I don't know if he's had any actual shots, but he's had a couple real close attempts to having some good pressure on the Battalion with some turnovers, with some breaks down the ice with the puck. It's been, he's done what he has to do. He just hasn't been able to beat Dom. And when you're playing in games like this, you're not going to see many goals at either end, I don't think. Last series we saw, most series you end up seeing one or two games where there's some high scores. I don't think we're going to see that in this series. No,
likely not in this one for sure. As, both goaltenders are at the top of their game. And we see that right now as game one, 3-2 in favor of the Petes. Game two, essentially 2-1, but it was 3-1 game as Owen Van Steensel converted on the empty netter. And guess what? It's 2-1 here as well. In this one. So, the two teams playing good defensively. Also, the goaltenders really helping out.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
An interesting thing when you said about both these goalies being at the peak of their games. Because of the level that this is, the peak of their games so far. I think both of these goalies have much more that they have able to develop in their game to take it to the next level. I think Dom DiVincentis is definitely going to be an NHL goalie.
I think so too.
At some point. And whether he's, blossoms into becoming a full-blown NHL star goalie, I think he has that potential. I don't know, that's such a high level, and there's so many ifs and buts that happen in between now and then to whether that actually happens. But to me, and what I see him play, he definitely has that potential.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
I see that same thing in Simpson as well. He's not been drafted, though.
No. Michael Simpson, looking for a pro contract, as he'll enter his overage year next year if he doesn't get taken this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think either way, if he gets taken, I think he'll be back in net for the Petes regardless next year. Because if he gets taken this year, likely won't get an entry-level deal right off the hop. That being said, he's been a heck of a goalie. I can't say enough good things about Michael Simpson. All year long, really, him and Dom DiVincentis at the top of the statistical categories for goaltenders that you really look out for. That's wins, save percentage, goals against average.
Yeah.
The two of them were 1-2 in the league for 99.9% of the season. Playoffs, they would be there as well if Brett Brochu wasn't having just an unbelievable run with the Knights, because both goalies, with their save percentages over 920, goals against average in the twos. So, I mean, they've both been really great for their teams through the first two rounds, and again here in the third round through 2.5 games. They've been goaltending duos as well. I asked Pete's head coach Rob Wilson, there it was, and it was Brendan Othman last game, about the goaltending duel here, and they both, had a lot of praise for both goalies, and that's interesting coming from an opposing team, that they hold DiVincentis, in such high regard, because they were basically like, he's been phenomenal for the Battalion, and Michael Simpson's been just as good for the Petes. There was really only one time that we've seen DiVincentis kind of look shaky in this playoffs, and that was the first period here against the Petes in North Bay in Game 1, where they went down 3-0. He didn't look like he was tracking the puck like we usually see him. He didn't look as solid. Good news for Battalion fans is Game 3, DiVincentis looked unbeatable. And so far here in Game 2, DiVincentis has been up to the task as well. And the other thing is Dom DiVincentis didn't lose back-to-back starts all season long, which is remarkable. And the Battalion as a team haven't lost back-to-back games since February 26th when they lost to Sarnia 8-2 after falling to Flint the day before.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we really... I'm very fortunate in that I'm fortunate and unfortunate in this regard, that I hadn't really followed the battalion overly closely until last year when I started helping with the broadcast.
Yeah.
They've been so good these last 2 years that it really is a special team. So I've kind of been fortunate that I kind of got to come back in at such a special point. With that said, I know that this is not a sustainable way to be this dominant of a team for forever. Like, the nature of this league is you can't sustain that. And you shouldn't be able to, right? Like, that's what this league's about. But, man, is it amazing to watch now.
It really is. As somebody who's followed this team since day one in North Bay, and it's funny, I look back at, little moments in your life where you don't really think something's going to be as big as it is later on. I remember even when Matt Duchesne was playing for the battalion, because he was getting a lot of media attention from like Sportsnet and stuff. And I just remember they were showing him in the battalion. They were also talking at the time, Matt Stajan's younger brother was on the team too. And Matt Stajan, of course, former Maple Leaf, former Calgary Flames, so he was a big name in the Leafs organization at that time. So it was kind of a big deal that, his younger brother was playing for Brampton. I remember looking at those jerseys and being like, really strange looking jerseys, right? Like, and I would have been like 13 at the time, 14. And it's just funny how you don't think about how seeing something like that is going to impact your life so far on down the road. Whereas the battalion come to town, I'm in college for my first year, and they just had a massive impact going to games, loved it. And then, of course, helping out with York TV at the time on the volunteer side, really cutting my teeth, really figuring out how things go. And then ultimately getting a job with the Rogers Radio in town and being put on the battalion broadcast was quite a blessing. And being able to help out Tom Parisi and Bob Coles at the time, and then later Matt Sukram. But then, now getting a chance to do our own broadcast kind of thing after helping out York TV again. So I've kind of flip-flopped between the two a lot. Yeah. But that's just because I love the battalion so much and I love being around it so much. But it's funny how you don't realize that little moment where you're sitting on the couch when you're 13 or 14 looking at a battalion jersey, being like, that's a weird color combination for a jersey, how much impact that's going to have on you later on. But as I was trying to say, I've been around this team since day one here in North Bay, and my first year covering with Country 600 CKAT was the first year the battalion missed the playoffs since moving to North Bay.
Oh.
So, I'm not saying I'm bad luck, but I'm probably bad luck in some way. It wasn't great hockey to watch, especially down the stretch, because the battalion were pretty good at the beginning of the year, and then they petered out. And then the next year they were a first-round exit, 5 games to Kingston, in which they played a game in Sudbury because of the women's curling in North Bay.
Right.
So that was a really weird game to go and do. Ironically, Sudbury again playing a big part in my life. And then the next year losing in 5 to Niagara, to Jason Robertson, ironically, actually. Yeah. Not ironically, but funny to say. Because I don't think anyone saw this, even at junior when he was such a good player, seeing what he would become in the NHL.
Yeah.
He led the league in points the year that Brazo scored 60 goals. And still everyone was kind of like, well, he's not, he'll be a 20, 30 goal scorer maybe at the NHL. Well, he's one of the best goal scorers now.
Yeah.
Chris Dawson, general manager of the Voodoo's, big Stars fan, big Jason Robertson fan. But yeah, there was some lean years there, with first-round exits in 5 games both times. And then they hit the bottom of the barrel in 2019-20. We're building it up, and then the pandemic happened. So then our podcast starts, and we didn't have hockey to cover for like a whole year, where we were just kind of like, what do we talk about on a hockey podcast? That's, we don't have any hockey to talk about. But thankfully, we were able to meet a lot of these players and able to have them on as well. So just a bit of an interesting thing there, how things kind of worked out. And here we are today in Peterborough now, sitting here. I'm Courtney Kenny, Ben Long. And with that being said, you probably listened to me ramble on way too long. So we're going to take things to our wonderful sponsors now here on the front line, and we'll be back on the other side of this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back to the Peterborough Memorial Center here on the Frontline Game Day broadcast. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long, and a huge shout out to our newest member of our Patreon, Alex O'Hare, who is considered to be a producer. Ben, you have some competition in the producer role as well, and you're going to get a Patreon shout out there. Alex, I wish your golf game was a little bit better, but here we are as we get ready here for game number 3, period number 3, and the Battalion hold a 2-1 lead here on the Peterborough Petes after 40 minutes of play. Once again, I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long here in Peterborough, who will be with me today and tomorrow for game number 4.
And want to make special mention of, thank everyone who takes the time to try and sync up our audio with video that they may be getting from various unnamed sources at this point. As per our new usual, we'll be saying the puck is dropped when the puck is dropped to help you with that sync.
We are trying for sure in ways to make things a little bit easier here for those at home. As we've been told, we're a few seconds ahead of video feeds. And nothing against the hardworking people on broadcasts, but I'm sure on the Peterborough side of things you don't want to be hearing about the Petes here tonight. I mean, unless you're Michael Preston.
But he's here with us.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Michael. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, you know what? We'll take you, even if you're a Petes fan here on the broadcast. 2-1. We're getting set for puck drop here. Yeah, in Peterborough. And the puck is dropped. And the Battalion have possession first here, and their road whites are going right to left this period. The Petes in their home maroon jerseys are going left to right. Ty Nelson through the neutral zone, flips the puck down, and there's no calls either on the penalty side of things after a little bit of a late melee to end the second period. Robertson down the middle of the ice, throws the puck in. Chasing after is Othman. Othman tried to throw it out front, but Robertson was right there. Robertson walking out, took a shot. That one's blocked. Armsby whacking at the puck, gets it to Nelson. Nelson quickly up to Wakely. Wakely cross ice to Van Steensel. Van Steensel walking in on the near side, leaves it for Nelson. Nelson stops up, walks to the slot, takes a shot. That one's blocked. Takes another chance. Tried to float it over Simpson, and that one just went over the net. Van Steensel walks into the middle of the ice, takes a shot. Simpson never saw that one, but it went into the corner. Zito back to the point for Petrov with a shot. Turned aside by Simpson on the pad. And now it's all Battalion here. Christopoulos back to Petrov. Petrov with a sharp angle shot. And stopped by Simpson there. Calmly on the sharp angle shot.
Yeah, and that was Petrov, and the pass right in his wheelhouse for a beautiful one-timer, but North Bay got a handful of really good chances at the goal there. A couple of them Simpson didn't even really have eyes on. Unfortunately for Simpson, they missed the net. Unfortunate for the Battalion, they didn't get anything out of those, but as a North Bay fan, I'm loving this domination that they're showing 1 minute into the third period.
Spearing with the puck, flips it out of his zone and down the ice. And that's going to be Avon who got to it first, our player to watch for the Petes. And then Zito, our player to watch for the Battalion, got the puck back briefly. And now it's to Petrov. Petrov throws it in deep for Simpson. Simpson goes back on the sideboards. And now the Petes, given all the time to try and get out, gets it over to McCoy. McCoy tried to go across ice. Christopoulos knocked it down. Now Avon bats it out of the air and knocks it back into the Battalion zone. But he didn't have possession of it, so... You know, possession is 9/10 of the law. We're going offside on that one.
Yep. That was a beautiful pun there. I love that one. That was nice.
It goes downhill from here.
That was a beautiful display of hand-eye coordination by Avon. Fortunately, Pete's player hadn't cleared the zone before he went back in with it.
Maye flips the puck into the Battalion zone. Hislop to Bruskowski, but now it's on the near side corner. Near side corner battle. And so to Bruskowski behind his net. Bruskowski up the ice quickly looking for Ertel. It stops. Smith flips it right back in. And Hislop tried to get to it first. Now it's Perdeller with it. Perdeller walking in. Walks behind the net. Throws the puck out front. And it's right back to the point, but thrown back in by the Petes. Another chance there. Stopped out front. Perdeller in the near side corner. Perdeller tries to battle and walk around with it. He's knocked to the ice. And now the puck's still stuck along the end boards. Poked out by Jackson. Hislop's going to get to that one first. Flips it up for Ertel. Ertel down the ice. Gains the zone. Walking in. Tries to get around his man. He does, but now he's in the corner. Ertel tried to flip it to Jackson. Smith got to it first. Now to White. White up to Robertson. Robertson stops up in his zone. Threw the puck up ice. Ertel got to that one and knocked away, but now Maye walks in with it. Maye going cross ice back to Lockhart. And Lockhart with some space takes a shot. That one's off Petrov's stick. Comes to the side of the net, and Divinchendis will just put a glove on that one and calmly stop play.
Yeah, Peterborough, that first minute was so far one way. I don't know if that was sustainable, but Peterborough showing some fight back the other way and some good possession and some good movement, but they just haven't seemed to be able to connect the dots the way that North Bay had for that first minute, and hopefully North Bay gets it back down the other end now.
Puck drop won by the Battalion, but the Petes get first full possession. Back to Othman. Othman threw it on net, kicked aside, and the Battalion tried to flip it out of the zone. Othman had the puck flutter off his stick, and he's not able to keep the zone, as now it's behind the net. Robertson first on that one. Try to get it back to Hayes, but it's back to White. White couldn't keep the line, and the puck is out. Now Petrov has it in his skates, and Wakely gets it over to Romani, but Petrov is so deep in the Pete's zone that he had to throw it back to the Battalion zone for Christopoulos. Christopoulos looking up ice, gets it to Romani. Romani walks in. Romani on the far side wall gets it back to Wakely. Wakely knocked off the puck to Romani. Romani on the far side half wall tried to get it back to the point, but Avon gets to that one. Hayes flipping it in cross ice, glove down by Ty Nelson, and now Nelson through the neutral zone. Looking his dangerous self, takes a shot, and that one's just wide of the net. Lucan pinching in, keeps it in, but now the Petes have the puck going the other way. Govro to Beck. Beck walks in, takes a backhanded shot. Divinchendis got the glove on that one, and we'll have another stoppage here with just under 4 minutes gone here in this third period.
You know, backhanders are kind of a lost art these days. You don't see a whole lot of them, especially aside from in the blue paint. But that was top of the circle. Beck let one go, and that was a pretty good shot. But that Golden Glove of Don Divinchendis is Golden Glove award winning.
Baseball season in full swing now. Blue Jays playing some good baseball as well as they continue their series in Boston as Lockhart keeps the puck in the Battalion zone. Nelson, of course, you can check out our 3-2 Count podcast as well, hosted by Matt Zuckerman and myself, but it's been Bradley Brooks the last couple of weeks as Maye throws the puck back in. As Matt's given me some time to recuperate and, of course, enjoy an anniversary or two. Thank you, Matt.
Two?
Well, it was one, but
say, what don't I know about here?
Dubois to Govro. Govro up the ice. That's off Perdeller's stick and into the Battalion zone. Hislop throws it right back up the ice, but knocked down by Perdeller. Perdeller back into the troop zone. Tried to throw it out front. It's knocked down by the Battalion. And now Zito has possession as he gains the red line, throws it in for McDonald to chase after. McDonald knocked off the puck, but he gets it along the end boards, and now it's stuck there. Zito in there for help. McDonald knocked down on the ice, and Maie is going to come away with it as he finally gets it up and out. Page skates the puck in, takes a shot. Glove down by DiVincentis. That one was going to miss the net wide, but not taking any chances is the goaltender Dominic DiVincentis.
Yeah, and back to our baseball conversation, that looked like just a great, first baseman reach out for the catch the man for the out there. I don't even watch the game, but man, I can't help talking about it sometimes.
Baseball's fun, what can I tell you? My favorite sport. I know that's taboo to say as a Canadian. Spearing. Throws the puck around behind the net. And that's going to go to Smith. Smith throws it right back behind the net. Pete's trying to shove that one in from the side. DiVincentis says no go. Back behind the net. DiVincentis stops the puck. Now it's Christopoulos with it. Christopoulos tries to get it out of the corner. He does. McDonald flips it out of the zone. And now Pete's players are falling all over the ice. Zito tried to get down to the puck, but goes for a change instead. Mathurin chasing the puck. Robertson gets to it first. And now Robertson skates around the Battalion zone. Robertson flips it on net. DiVincentis hits the blocker on that one. And it goes up into the netting and out of play.
Yeah, I lost track of where that one was off Dom's blocker. I saw some snow and stuff go flying another direction.
It went up and just hit behind. You could see some fans pretend to reach for the puck. That's the only reason why I knew where it went.
Yeah, we're seeing North Bay's having a bit of trouble getting out of their own end here. They're making some sort of weak flip passes that Peterborough just keeps picking off, and I'd like to see them be a little more stronger on those plays.
Face-off one right back to DiVincentis, so he covers it back up. 14-11 left here in this period. Shots on goal, 31-25 in favor of the Petes, but the Battalion hold a 2-1 edge so far in this game.
Yeah, and that's been pretty typical of North Bay this season, or these playoffs, to be not getting as many shots as the other team, but when the shots they do get, they make sure they count.
Battalion with 2 in the second period. They were down 1-0 going into that period. Zanetti behind the back pass to Lockhart. Flips it up and out of the zone, but it's right back in. Zanetti doesn't get too deep in. Now Zanetti is twisting and turning. Gets it over to Maie. Maie up the ice to Beck. Beck stops up. And it's left for the Battalion to try and flip it out of the zone. Over the head of Bloom, but Govro gets to it in his own zone. Govro down the ice. Pete's got possession of it, but now it's to Nelson. Nelson looking up for Bloom. He finds him. Josh Bloom with some speed. Stops up, takes a shot. Big save there by Simpson as he kicked the pad out and stopped that one. Beck going the other way. Now into the Battalion zone. Avon with a sharp angle shot. Puck left in the slot. Good chance there on the rebound by the Petes. And DiVincentis calmly stops that one and covers the puck up.
Yeah, and Bristowski down on Beck. Beck just doesn't even have the same jump in his step since that Arnsby hit. So I don't know if he's maybe playing with a minor injury or that's just not in the game or what's going on, but the jump that we saw him have play through the first 2 games, even if he wasn't necessarily always putting the puck in the net, he's played with a spark, and I haven't seen that for most of this game since that hit.
Face off to the far side of DiVincentis' net. Back to Hislop. Hislop up to Romani. Romani. His pass, dangerous, was out front, but is kept in by Othman. Othman goes cross ice, and they tie it. And that's going to be Avery Hayes tying the game here with 13:05, and you felt with the way the Battalion have played outside of that first minute that this was inevitable.
Yeah. The Petes have really worked for this. And Hayes, having been in this round last year, being with the Bulldogs that swept Peterborough, you couldn't help but know he's going to be factoring into these games in this type of a way.
Avery Hayes is 7th of the postseason, his first of this series, and is also his first point as well, with a goal there on the one-timer. 13:05 left, we're tied up at 2. Puck won back by the Petes to Spearing. Spearing flips the puck in. The Battalion have to find a higher gear here and quickly. Petrov goes cross ice, and that one missed everyone to Spearing. Spearing right back down the ice, but it's to Christopoulos. Christopoulos over to Mathurin. Mathurin up to Petrov. Petrov flips it in, and Simpson's going to cover that one up, and we'll get a whistle here with 12:43 left in this period.
Now, is there like a NHL rink sounds pack? Because I seem to keep hearing that Mario coin sound. They played it at Barrie, and they're playing it here.
I don't know, I don't know if this is a thing from previous season. I know the Barrie one was from previous seasons.
Yeah.
McDonald tries to win the puck back, but we're going to get a quick stop here as the linesman deemed that one to not be a fair draw.
Come on!
Peterborough fans really not liking that. Puck flipped out of the zone, caught by Nelson as he tries to backhand it up the ice to Petrov. And that's going to be offside for the Petes if they play it, but it's up to McDonald. McDonald flipping the puck cross ice into the Petes zone. Zito couldn't get even close to the puck, but it's back to Nelson. Nelson throwing it on net, well over the net. And now it's back to the point for Lucan, who sends it right back behind, but it took a weird bounce off the end boards and didn't go anywhere. Now it's kept in by Petrov. Petrov tried to get a chance, and it's knocked away from him. Now Beck going the other way. Beck into Zanetti. Zanetti walking in. Chance there. And they're going to call that no goal. Petes fans not happy about that. The horn goes as the net was knocked completely off.
The Petes fans sound happy about that because they think it's still a goal.
Puck was knocked completely off its moorings.
By a Petes player.
Yeah. As Zanetti went in and was knocked down.
Yeah.
On the play. Battalion looking to get away with one. Yeah, Zanetti completely took that one off as he slid in off of his chance.
Now, did he knock DiVincentis during that play? Is that a goalie interference?
We're getting a conference here of the referees in front of the penalty box.
Based on the ref and calls that we've seen tonight, I can't help but think there won't be a goaltender interference, but... So that play was completely blurred out on the screen in front of us there. So, maybe something.
The referee's now on the phone.
And the other ref is at Peterborough bench, seemingly in a animated discussion with the coach, but I don't know what about.
Rob Wilson, of course, pleading his case for the Petes. Puck going down the ice. And Zanetti knocked the net off.
So it looks like...
He took out DiVincentis on the play.
If the call on the ice stands, the faceoff will be outside the zone because it was knocked off by the Petes player. And the ref taking his phone back. No goal.
Fans here don't like that one.
They are not happy about that call, but it was in fact the correct call, I believe. And I'm happy about that.
Govro off the draw, flips the puck back into the Battalion zone. Nelson gonna get to it first. Flips it behind the net, and it's gonna come back out to Govro. Govro in his own zone. Flips the puck up for Beck. Beck gains the zone, flips it out front looking for Lockhart. Nelson got to it and knocked it away, but the Petes with the puck once again. Out front to Lockhart. Lockhart threw it on net, couldn't get it past DiVincentis. Now back to Govro. Govro threw it on net, tipped behind DiVincentis.
The whistle went, no
The whistle
goal.
had gone, though the puck got behind DiVincentis. He didn't see it, and the Petes knocked it in. But the referees had already blew the play dead. And this place, if I'm a referee, that is the right call if the whistle's blown dead.
Yeah.
But the fans are not going to be happy here with the Petes.
That was a quick whistle, but it was a whistle. And that's, I don't know if refs can go back and say, no, I didn't mean to blow the whistle there. The play should have kept going.
I have to say right now, The Battalion have to figure out what is going wrong for them right now, because it has not worked for them since the first minute of this period.
No, that's true. We've had 7 long minutes of hockey, not just long because of the play, but because of the stops in between the plays.
And 3 pucks have made its way past Ivanchendis in this period.
Yes.
1 counts so far. 11:31 left. The referee's skating to the bench to talk to the Pete's bench right now. Ryan Houlihan looking on from across the ice.
The puck is still in North Bay's end. So
Well, they blew the whistle.
Yep.
They blew the whistle before the Pete's even touched it. I don't know what they could be discussing. I really don't understand. And now they're going to review it. I really don't understand. You blew the whistle.
I think maybe the review is whether the whistle should have been blown or not.
But the whistle was blown.
Yeah. I don't know if that's... I know they could go the other way where the ref could say, I meant to blow the whistle there, and that's when the play is supposed to stop by the rule book, is when the ref means to blow the whistle, not whether he actually blew it or not. But I don't know if it goes the other way and say, I didn't mean to blow the whistle there, so the play shouldn't have stopped.
You would think all of these stoppages would hurt the Pete's momentum, but it's been all Peterborough this third period, which is not good news for the Battalion.
No.
The troops need to wake up.
Yeah. But I think that maybe this is the problem here, is that this is just kind of lulling them. Unless you can hear a chant saying it's a goal. But
yeah, it's a goal, but he blew the whistle.
Which means it is not a goal.
I mean, if he didn't blow the whistle, yeah, there's no interference, there's no nothing. I don't know how you can argue he blew the whistle. This is astounding to me.
The only thing that I could think of is if that rule about intention to blow the whistle is something that can go the other way as well, that he didn't mean to blow the whistle there, or shouldn't have blown the whistle, can count as didn't blow the whistle, or I don't know.
And good thing we're staying here tonight, because it's already 9:20 and we have 11 minutes left of this.
Oh geez, at this rate we're going to be here till, this is going to be worse than double overtime.
No goal. Thank you, you blew the whistle, thank you.
But the fans here are not happy. Rob Wilson is not happy also.
But these are the right calls.
Yeah. Now, North Bay has been lucky with these calls because both of them potentially could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
And they need to get out of this little funk that they're in right now.
Arnsby out there for the draw against Robertson. One back by the Pete's. Procession flips it out of the zone and chases after it. Othman gets to it first. Othman leaves it behind his bench. His net, I should say, to Govro. Govro in the corner battling with Arnsby. Puck comes out. Van Steensel looked out front. Couldn't get it to find the player out front that he was looking for. That was Procession. And now the Pete's can't get out of their zone. They finally do. Hayes, who scored the equalizer. The only goal that's counted so far this period. For Stopless. Over to Arnsby. Up the ice quickly to Van Steensel. Van Steensel from the red line throws the puck in cross ice. And now it's Maillet with it. Maillet and Van Steensel exchanging some stick whacks. If Van Steensel wants to fight Othman, and Othman just lulled him into a fight, and now Van Steensel is going to get a penalty. Van Steensel pleading his case, saying the guy was doing it right back to me.
Yeah. I mean, I understand his point, but his gloves are on the ice and Othman's are not.
Well, now, we've seen a game with the Pete's in North Bay where the maroon gloves were on the ice and Lucan got the penalty.
Yeah.
But, of course, that's regular season magic.
Well, I mean, with that scenario, it was an arm around a guy where the glove fell off. This was, he had his gloves off and he
Well, yeah, I'm not arguing that Van Steensel shouldn't have the penalty. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So it will be 2 minutes on the board against the Battalion. So, good job, North Bay. You've been shelled this period, and now you're going to be on the penalty.
Now, that was one shift that we were seeing a lot of fire out of the battalion. I thought we were going to see a little turnaround there. If they could kill off this penalty, and statistically, the Petes have scored all their goals for the next 3 games on the power play. But we'll see how the stats work out in real life.
Pete's quickly back to Offman. Offman throws it on net. It's tipped wide. And now the battalion have it, flip it down the ice, and Simpson will be out to play the puck in his own zone. Owen Van Steensel, 2 for roughing is the call. Maillet with the puck to Hayes. Hayes flips it into the battalion zone, stopped up by the battalion, knocked back down the ice. Maillet with it. Maillet goes cross ice to the near side now for Lockhart. Lockhart back to Maillet. Maillet flips the puck back into the battalion zone. Lucan tried to get to it first, and now a big hit in the corner, but the Petes continue with possession. Zito tried to knock the puck off Hayes, and now he does flip it out, and it's down for Maillet to play the puck. A minute 10 left on the man advantage, and now it's Offman. Offman goes cross ice. Petes get in. Hayes up to his man has just missed the puck wide, and now the battalion battling for possession, but it's the Petes that get it back to Spearing. Spearing the near side for Hayes. Hayes shoots the puck on net. Another chance from the slot, goes wide of the net. And now Christopoulos got to it, but the battalion tried to clear it out. Kept in by Spearing to Lockhart. Lockhart going cross ice for Hayes. And now Spearing can't keep the puck as it hopped over his stick and out of the zone. 35 seconds remain on the man advantage. Lockhart into Hayes. And we're going to get an offside call here as the Petes were trying to get back into the battalion zone.
Yeah, and as you can hear the fans here, it's very much like North Bay is. Once they're unhappy with the refs, you are going to hear about it for the rest of the game anytime any call is made, regardless of, objectively offside is offside.
Beck and Arnsby in for the draw with 35 seconds left on the man advantage. Arnsby wins it, but he falls on the puck, and Beck gets it cross ice to Avon. Avon on the far side walking in. Avon taking off the puck by Nelson, and now it's McDonald who got this goal scoring for the battalion off shorthanded on a rush. Simpson tried to play the puck, and it does come around. And now the Petes have possession. Beck going the other way. Beck into the battalion zone. Gets by Nelson. Puck comes out to Mathurin. Mathurin threw it into the corner for Arnsby. Arnsby takes his time, throws it down the ice. Simpson out to play it, and he gets it in the trapezoid with 3 seconds left on the Van Steensel penalty. So we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here as the battalion managed to kill off that penalty. Perdello throws the puck into the battalion end, throws it out front. The puck comes to Hislop. Hislop to Bloom. Bloom stops up, plays the puck back to Jackson. Jackson walks in. Jackson takes the shot. That one's over the net. Now Petrov tries to keep it in. Christopoulos does, but he hits his clearers, dump back in, hits a body, and the Petes send it right back around the battalion zone. Paget gets the puck out front, takes a shot. That one just goes wide of the battalion net. Petrov looking up ice for Bloom. That one was picked off by the Petes and sent back in. Now back behind the net for Christopoulos. 8 minutes left. Up to Petrov. Petrov near side to Hislop. Hislop slowly out of his zone. Gains the red line, flips it in. Simpson plays it to Govro. Govro has Jackson come after him, but the Petes get the puck back down to the battalion zone for Lucan. Lucan with the puck gives it to Nelson. Nelson stops up. Looks up ice. He goes for a skate. He has had the puck knocked off his stick, but McDonald was there to recover. McDonald gets around Zanetti. Has to chase after it in the corner. Flips it back for Zito. Zito back for McDonald. Now it's Zanetti with it as he's knocked off the puck, but he's able to kick it over to Govro. Thrown across ice to Offman. Offman in the foot race with Nelson, who keeps the puck in. Sent in, Govro. Loses it to Zito. Zito tried to get it to McDonald, but now Hayes comes away with it. Hayes up to Robertson. Knocked down to the battalion end for Lucan. Lucan with the puck. Back to Nelson. Nelson in his own zone. Looks up ice. Gets it to Wakely. Wakely tips it in and chases after it as the battalion complete a line change. Behind the net, that's Smith. Smith going for a bit of a skate. Gains the red line. Flips it in behind the net. Beck will get to it first. 6:50 left here in this third period. Beside the net, chance there for the Petes, turned aside by DiVincentis. Wakely now gains the red line, flips it in as he's knocked down. Pete's fans liking that. Smith battles a trip there on the Battalion, as now getting up slowly is Arnsby, and going the other way is the Petes. Battle on the near side corner between the Battalion and the Petes. Comes away. Arnsby gets the puck on it. Skates through the neutral zone. He had the game winner last time to Wakely. Wakely walks in, fanned on his shot. Continues with possession. Wakely throws the puck on net. Blocked in front. Out front to Arnsby. Arnsby couldn't get a shot away. And now Hislop tried to keep the line, but it comes out. Hislop walks the red line. Flips it in. Paget gets a stick on it. And now Paget tries to flip it into the Battalion zone, and he does. Paget into the far side corner with the puck, leaves it up. And now the Petes will once again with possession. Flip it around behind the Battalion net. Petrov in the near far side corner. Gets it back to Hislop. Hislop to Jackson. Jackson slowly from his own zone. 5.5 minutes here left in this third period. It's a tied game at 2. Jackson retreats back to his zone. Hislop up to Romani. Romani cross ice now for Petrov. Petrov skates around in his own zone. Stops up. Flips it back. Cross ice for Hislop. It's not going to get to him as Robertson's going to knock it back in. Italian once again now with possession. Petrov cross ice to Jackson. Jackson to Petrov. Petrov took the shot. That one hit a body and it's going to bounce in on Simpson. And we'll get a stoppage here with 5:03 left in this third period. That should be our mid-period break as well. So we'll be back with the front line to finish up the third period on the other side of this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
5:03 left here in this third period. We're all tied at 2 as Avery Hayes scored the equalizer here earlier in this period. And then the Heats proceeded to get 2 more goals that were deemed not good. So the Battalion find themselves in a tied game, even though the Petes have really been coming this period. 42-27 are the shots in favor of Peterborough. The Battalion are going to have an offensive zone draw. I'm Courtney Kenny, joined alongside Ben Long here in Peterborough from the Peterborough Memorial Center. Josh Bloom in for the draw on the broadcast side of Michael Simpson's net. Bloom in for the draw with Beck. Bloom wins it back to Nelson. Nelson walks the line, gives it back to Bloom, throws it on net. That one just missed wide. Back to Christopoulos in the slot for Zito. Zito couldn't get the puck to settle down, and the Petes flip it up and out. Lockhart lost it to Nelson, who got it to Zito. Quickly back to Christopoulos. Now it's Nelson with it. Nelson out here on a pairing with Christopoulos, someone we don't see very much. Bloom puts the puck into the Petes zone, but it's quickly knocked out. Now Beck walking into the Battalion zone. Beck throws it in cross ice. It's knocked down by Bloom, and now Bloom with some speed out of the zone. Bloom to Zito. Back to Bloom. That one just missed him and goes cross crease. Nobody can find that one. As now McDonald comes away with it. McDonald with a shot. Bloom in the slot. Had it. Took a backhand chance, and that one's turned aside by the Petes who blocked it. Sent back down the ice. Lucan chasing after it. Looking for some options as he skates the puck up the ice to Zito. Zito flips the puck into the Petes zone. He's going to spin off for a change. As Procession's out there now. Bulls over Govro. And now Hayes has it. Hayes tried to get it out, but it was kept in by Lucan. Sent back in. Procession battling for it. It comes to Othman. And Procession gets the loose puck to Van Steensel. Van Steensel threw the puck out front. Knocked down by Hayes. Now it's Zanetti behind his net. Back to Procession. Procession, a one-man wrecking crew here on this shift. But now it's to Govro. Govro back to Othman. Othman goes cross ice. That one missed everybody, and that'll go for icing as Robertson couldn't get to it. And the Battalion are the first ones back on that one.
One thing that we've seen good out of North Bay in the last half of this period is that they've been making sure to get the puck out of their end with control. If that means they have to cycle back and make another pass at it to make a good, clear pass instead of just turning it away to Peterborough in their own end, they've been making sure they're making the good plays, and I'm glad that we're seeing that out of them.
Jackson for the draw with Beck. Beck wins it back handily to Govro. Back to Petrov. Petrov with a shot. Simpson gets that high and makes sure there's no rebound. And we'll get us another stoppage here with 3:24 left in this third period.
Yeah, that sort of was North Bay's face-off plan, exactly drawn to plan without having to win the face-off, which was weird to see the way that situation went down, but here we have another one.
Jackson in for the draw again with Beck on the far side of Simpson's net. Avon decides to change sides. As now Jackson couldn't win that one. It's back to Smith. Smith tries to get it out. Hertel kept it in with a good stick. Hertel tried to get around Beck. He couldn't. And now it's back to Hislop in the Battalion zone. Hislop near side now for Nelson. Nelson cross ice for Hislop. Hislop down the ice is kicked aside by the Petes and kicked back into the Battalion zone. Hislop chased by Avon. Has the puck in his own zone. Back to Nelson. Nelson gains the red line, throws it cross ice. And now the Petes flip it right back up and out. Beck has the puck knocked off his stick by Mathurin. Leaves it for Jackson. Jackson in his own zone. Gives it back to Petrov. Petrov into the zone. Leaves it for McDonald. Kept in quickly by Christopoulos, but now the Petes going the other way with Offman. Offman walks in, tries to throw it out front. He couldn't find a partner to pass to. Now it's McDonald up to Jackson. Jackson back over for McDonald. McDonald with the shot turned aside by Simpson. Back to Mathurin. Denies Mathurin. Flips the puck in. Stopped again by Simpson. Couple of chances there for the Battalion. And now Maillet slows things down. Flips it down into the Battalion zone. Hits Othman's stick. And so no icing. Petes with possession behind the net. Back to Maillet. Maillet with the shot. And they score. 3-2 Petes lead with 2:05 left here.
That is a hard goal for the Battalion to take on a shot that, kind of high. I'm not sure if there's guys in the way of it or not, but that was not a great one. But in 43 shots on goal, you're going to get some in there.
Divinchentis beaten cleanly.
Yeah.
Bad look. Battalion have gotten next to nothing going here this period. They have 2 minutes to figure something out.
So up the rear right now they have Jackson, McDonald, and Zito with Nelson and Lucan. And we'll be watching to see if Dom makes his way to the net in the next moments.
Lucan with it. Goes cross ice to McDonald. McDonald back into his own zone for Nelson. Nelson quickly over to Lucan. Lucan back to Nelson. Nelson up to Jackson. Jackson couldn't get into the zone. Lucan back to Nelson. Nelson flips it cross ice. Petes are going to get to it first as Hayes flips it up and out of the zone. Nelson actually keeps that one in briefly. Shovels it in. Kicked out by the Petes, who seem to be playing an awful lot of soccer here this period. Zito back to Nelson. Back to Jackson. 4 goals past Dom Divinchentis this period. 2 of them have counted. Not a good look.
So the puck tips off the boards and out of play, hitting the meshing there. We're going to have a face-off inside. Dom's at Divinchentis is at the bench, but I don't know if that's because of a timeout call or what's happening. The refs have decided that the face-off will go outside the zone.
Minute 19 left here, 3-2.
And North Bay has called the timeout.
Battalion are looking for a miracle here.
Yeah. Now, if there's a roster in this league that you're going to say these guys have the ability to come up when needed, I think it's this North Bay roster. But it's nice to not be in the situation of having to come up as needed.
Well, here's hoping. The Petes have an ace up their sleeve of Michael Simpson.
Yes, that is not helpful to the cause.
(3-2) with 1:19 left here in this third period. Pete scoring a late one here. Fans smashing our broadcast booth as well. Getting some looks from some in the crowd as well. Jackson. It's one back to Zanetti, and the Petes get it down to the Battalion zone. Nelson with possession. Back to Jackson. Jackson to McDonald. McDonald with a shot on net, turned aside by Simpson and sent right back down. That'll go for icing as the net is empty. And so the Battalion will have an offensive zone draw here with 58.3 seconds left.
Yeah, so Romani right off the bench has to rush back to his own end to grab that icing. But it looked like Peterborough was maybe calling a timeout, but appears they are not.
Jackson looking to win a draw. Back to McDonald. McDonald goes cross ice for Petrov. Petrov with the shot. It's up high on Simpson, and he has the puck drop down into his glove.
Yeah, that was up off Simpson's cage down into his glove, which is, as a goalie, that's not where you want to be taking the puck, especially in the last few minutes of the game, because you never quite know where it's going to bounce off that, but he got lucky and it went the right direction for him.
Jackson, face-offs coming to the far side of Simpson. And the Petes win it. Zanetti tries to flip it out. Petrov just got a piece of it. And now Beck tries to will it down to the Battalion zone. He does, but Nelson took him off the puck. Nelson from behind his net. Pete's come away with it, but Romani gets a piece of it. Now it's back to Nelson. Nelson quickly up to Jackson. Jackson cross ice for McDonald. McDonald bats it in. Zanetti tries to flip it out. He does, or spearing rather. Petrov gets to it. 26 seconds left on the clock. Matvey Petrov skates it in. Looks to take a shot. He does. Just missed the net of Simpson. Zito, last chance there. Took a shot. It's turned aside by Simpson. 15 seconds left on the clock. Jackson back to Nelson. Nelson running out of time. Goes to McDonald. McDonald threw it on net just over. And that's going to do it here. The Petes are going to take a 2-1 series lead with home ice again here tomorrow. Hopefully we have better luck with some of the fans here tomorrow night from Peterborough, as we'll have this broadcast for you as Peterborough comes away with a 3-2 victory.
Now, that's the second game in a row that we have McDonald set up for that one-timer where he gets that one-timer shot away, and that blocker from Simpson just comes across and makes the save at the last minute. We're going to throw to commercials, and we'll be back for our post-game show and our 3 stars.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for a quick abbreviated post-game show. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Long as the Battalion go down 2-1 in this series, a series in which they have a 20-point advantage. But here we are, down 2-1 to the Peterborough Petes and Michael Simpson. 3 stars of the game looked like Brandon Othman and Samuel Maye, and I believe Michael Simpson getting the other star because...
No, Dom Divincentis.
Oh, they did give it to Dom Divincentis?
Yep.
Okay.
Which was well earned on his part.
I would say so, minus the one shot.
He can't put the puck in the other net. But yeah, so it's been... and that's the thing with the Petes this year is, although they're way back because of how their early team was, at the trade deadline, their team changed drastically. They're not that team that's that far back in the standings. They need to be treated differently. And North Bay at times just didn't look like they treated them didn't give them the respect of the team that they are. Because when North Bay was on the game, they dominated probably 2 periods of this game. But they had the first period and half of the second period, or half of the third period, they just kind of said, oh, we'll just kind of let what happens happen.
Yeah, they really took their foot off the gas pedal after Petrov scored that go-ahead goal late in that second period. And that's the thing, every single team I cheer for tonight had to tease me. The Leafs tied it up at 2. They've lost that game. The Blue Jays were up. They're losing that game. The Battalion were up. They lost this game.
It is not your day in sports today.
I'm done, man. I'm done with this broadcast tonight. I just have to say, so with that being said, I don't really know what else we can really say. We'll be back here again tomorrow night from Peterborough, here live on the Frontline Game Day broadcast on our YouTube channel. Hopefully we can deliver a more exciting product for you tomorrow night as the Battalion look to even up the series at 2 games apiece here from Peterborough. I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Ben Long. We'll see you on the other side.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.